This episode of the Major Issues Podcast is brought to you by ComicBook Clique at tpublic.com. Take a selfie rocking one of our shirts from TeePublic and use the hashtag CBCWorthy for a chance to win 2 free tickets to see Captain Marvel in theaters March 8th. Just click the Shop Comic Book Clique link in our show notes to make a purchase, or follow us on Facebook for more information. Remember, you are worthy. Hello everybody out there in comic book land. My name is George Serrano, aka The Don, and if you're listening to this, you could only be here for one reason, and that's a brand new episode of the Major Issues Podcast, brought to you by Comic Book Clique. And as always, I am never alone. Sir, please introduce yourself.
I am your Cloudus Maximus.
And he isn't alone. Who else is in the studio today?
I am Groot, which is Grootanese for I am Dan, the comic book man, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't even know you spoke Grootanese.
Grootanese.
They teach it as a curriculum.
Hey, it's fancy. It's fancy language for a fancy day. You guys are dressed in your Sunday's best, even though it's not even Sunday, because we are here for the 3rd annual Best of CBC Award Show. Yeah. Dealing with the Best of 2018, and what a year we had. It's funny because I was looking at a lot of these nominees, and I was especially looking at the best debut nominee, and I realized almost every single news report that came out that this is the look of such and such or so and so started a riot. Every time that every time that somebody came new to the gate started a riot. Some of these nominees stunned the world and changed the way people think about comic books and comic book characters. Some of these disappointed, and people expected more from. But we're here to talk about the best of the best to come to the comic book media genre. But most importantly, we're here to talk about the people that you guys voted in for the winners of these awards, because every single award winner here today was picked by the members of the Clique.
Ooh, by the beautiful people.
And this is the 3rd time we've been doing this. Dan, you were around for the first award show.
God,
Remember that?
I remember that first award show.
We did that on
Deadpool
video.
Deadpool debuted there.
Yeah, Black Panther also debuted. That was 2016's award show. That's when Civil War came out. Batman vs Superman. We had a lot of stuff.
We had Punisher winning best fight scene from that prison cell.
Think about it. We saw the airport fight, and we were like, "This is the best comic book movies it's ever gonna get. Like, this is it.
Goodness.
How could it ever get better than this?" And then they dropped Infinity War on us, and who knows what they're gonna drop on us next year. But we're here to talk about all of that. But since I already kind of buried the lead, I think it's important to say that majority of this is gonna be spoiler filled. We're gonna keep it light.
Right,
because you guys
I'm
still
trying
want
to be as vague as possible.
Yeah, we still want you guys to enjoy these pieces of media if you haven't already. You kind of should have, though.
Yeah, get on it.
You kind of should have. The only one I excuse is Aquaman and Spider-Verse, because those came out literally 3 weeks ago.
A month ago.
3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
But if you haven't gotten on Infinity War yet, I suggest
if I'm spoiling
this.
Black Panther for you on this, you might have to. How did you get to this podcast? There's a lot of questions I have to ask about your fandom, your faith, and all that kind of stuff there. But let's get into. Let me loosen up this tie. I'm getting a little bit stuffy. I'm getting nervous as I'm holding this envelope here. But yeah, let's talk about the best debut. And this is an award that I came out with 2 years ago when we first started this, because I think it's important to talk about the first time a character is able to come to the silver screen.
Right.
Initially I wanted to nominate Juggernaut, because I was so happy that he finally got his just due.
Right.
But Juggernaut makes his debut in X-Men: The Last Stand.
So it's better for a redemption, if anything.
Yeah,
it was a good redemption
as
role.
Vinnie Jones. So I found a way to slide the Juggernaut in there. So in dealing with these awards, a lot of things fell through the cracks, and we couldn't name every possible debut. A bunch of people have debuted across the CW shows, Marvel, Netflix, cameos, and post-credit scenes in film. And I mean, I guess you can kind of sort of consider all those, but we were really talking about people who had a lot to do, people who
the best of the best.
The best of the best. So let's start off with Bullseye, literally Bullseye. the character debuted in Daredevil issue 131 in 1976, and I let this guy. I thought he did so good, Wilson Bethel, in Daredevil season 3 playing Bullseye. I let him slide under the cracks because obviously
Well, it's better than Colin Farrell.
we
So
had
it
the
was a real
great
good redemption
Colin
role.
Farrell,
Bullseye.
who was scarred with a bullseye.
With the bullseye on his forehead.
How
Yeah,
did
he has
that
a
get
bull.
there?
He has like a bullseye thing on his forehead.
Do we ever talk about how that got there?
Maybe he did it
People
himself.
need to know who I am.
It's not a tattoo.
Well, it's like how Dr. Manhattan
not-
put the atom on his forehead. Maybe he
Oh,
had
yeah.
somebody.
I'm not telling
And it
you.
hurt way
I'm
more.
Not
so
tell-
it's
I'm not telling you my name because you're gonna know.
Just
By
look
the
at my
bullseye
forehead.
on
He's
my
like, oh my
forehead.
god, this tattoo is killing me. We didn't even color it in yet. Forget it. We're just gonna get just the circles.
Easy target for the cops if they ever want to snipe him out.
I'll do it
Easy
myself.
target. Yeah. But it's funny. The character it rose into prominence in Daredevil season 3 of being one of Wilson Fisk's, I guess, handyman. I guess cleaners. One of Wilson Fisk's cleaners. And the man who played Wilson Fisk, like I said a million times, Wilson Bethel, he actually tried out to be Captain America before Chris Evans nabbed that role. He has kind of an all-American.
He's got the.
Yeah, well,
he's
glad
got a
Chris
cap
Evans
package
grabbed
going
that
on,
role,
you know,
though.
Yeah.
with the hand-to-hand and the marksmanship.
And seeing like not another team movie and stuff like that, I don't know if I would have said Chris Evans off the bat.
Oh, at that time?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. He had only a cellular
The man
under his
has
belt.
the man has even changed like how he stands. Have you ever just like seen how Chris Evans he has that poise.
He knows who he is. He knows who he
A
is.
veteran superhero. But what I liked was that his version of Bullseye, this new version in season 3, was much more manic and scary. Like he was,
Right.
we literally saw like a normal man unravel. Like we were just told this was a cop. Next thing you know, we see him stalking people. Next thing you know, we find that he's getting literal audio therapy.
Yeah, he was quite polarizing.
And he just fell and fell and fell, and they would play these musical notes that make it seem like there's like static going on in his head, like he's not seeing clearly, thinking clearly,
functioning on a different frequency.
Yeah, and it was so obvious about how, I mean, they literally stated in the show, but it's so obvious about how much he needed guidance, how much he needed what they call a North Star on the show. Anybody to tell him, you're good, just keep doing what I say, and you'll be in my good graces. So we went from a Bullseye that just goes, Bullseye, and throws things and kills old ladies on. Did he kill that old lady on the plane?
He killed an old lady on a plane because she was
killed that old lady
talking
on
too
the
much.
plane.
She made her choke on a peanut. Killed the guy in the bar.
It was the most silent choking death I've probably ever seen. He kind of just goes to sleep.
Paperclip.
The
Was it?
paperclip
Oh,
was the
paper-
bar.
Yeah, that was it was pretty cool.
The peanut-
to watch, but the peanut was on the plane.
Was on the plane.
Okay, yeah. He
But
bounced it off. Yeah. You're
Bounced
right.
off the headboard right into her mouth.
But even in this, we found the way to make the amazing precision that Bullseye normally has look cool without seeming cheesy. The guy's throwing staplers, right, at Matt. He's throwing pens. He's bouncing things off of walls. And every time, like, I'm laughing.
Giving
not
him no
because-
time to breathe.
I'm laughing not because it was humorous, but because, like, could you imagine death by stapler? Could you imagine death by,
That's
accurately
hilarious.
placed
You wouldn't be able to move everywhere you're getting hit.
death by accurately placed thumbtack? Like that,
Right to the
like,
back of the head, just
Yeah,
throw a
like-
coffee mug.
so good. And he really made Daredevil season 3, I felt. So I wanted to nominate Wilson Bethel as Bullseye. Another nominee, another debut. We got Josh Brolin in Deadpool 2 bringing Cable to life. Cable debuting in New Mutants number 87 in March of 1990. So that's what, 28 years? Close to 30 years?
About.
Yeah, close to 30 years for the character, but nowhere near the longest that it's taken. I'll tell you guys what that is in a bit.
To live action.
Yeah, to live action. Cable. I think I saw Cable for the first time in the animated series.
X-Men?
Yeah, actually
Yeah.
the animated
Me too, me
series.
too.
And I always wondered, because he always had he had the light eye, the eye, the actual light eye.
shining eye there.
But they always put like a weird black mascara star around it.
Around it, yeah.
So I never knew if that was his eyelashes or the scar. It's like a scar.
So he's winking.
But I was like, is he like doing some kind of like, is he like putting some makeup on that thing? But yeah, Josh Brolin pulling double duty in 2018. Also
Bringing to life both great characters, both established anti-heroes, villains, however you want to look at Cable.
Yeah, and he also, this is two primarily CGI driven characters. I mean, Thanos is entirely CGI.
Well, it's motion cap too, so
Yeah.
and he did good with the motion cap work for Thanos. Like,
yeah. And I liked one of our first, I mean, we it all got blown up, I think, on Entertainment Weekly was the first time we all saw Cable. It was the
Yeah,
one picture,
yeah.
and it was like, hey, this is an exclusive. The next time we see Cable is that trailer that makes fun of the fact that the special effects aren't done yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so
he has a
he
green
actually
arm.
has a green
arm.
sleeve
Yeah.
instead of the arm or whatever, which I thought was really, really funny. Not as tall as you would think.
No.
Well, I mean,
'Cause
isn't Josh
even
Brolin tall, though?
No, even in real life, I think Brolin is kind of
Yeah, he's probably kind of short.
That's
Uh,
ridiculous.
people
Yeah,
think
he looks kind of tall.
I've heard taller people want the taller Cables and Punisher.
and Cable's built like a house.
Yeah, that's true.
The one we're from.
Well,
Well, the
I
one,
mean,
yeah,
the one drawn by Rob Liefeld, where he has muscles on top of muscles,
top
and
of
then
muscles.
pouches
I mean, in the cartoon
of
too,
muscles.
he's built like a house too.
No, he's
in
had
a
some
way,
broad
but-
shoulders in the old animated cartoons.
Yeah, when I was doing the history for him, Nathan Summers, which is Cable, he debuted earlier, like in the mid '80s, and then mid to late '80s, and then Cable. This character comes
from
you
the
know,
future.
from the future, yeah, and then that's when they start moving in the Deadpools and start going in that pouches and guns and bullets galore. So it's important that Cable came to here, and he was given quite a tragic backstory. His family killed by the hands of Fire Fist. I want to say
Fine.
Fire Fist killed his family, so he comes back to try to kill Fire Fist. Quite a very familiar time travel story, right?
Mhm.
Have to stop the end of the world by hurting this one person or whatever. So, had the techno-organic virus. We got to see him shirtless, which I wanted to see for that character, even though that sounds weird.
Right.
I
But
wanted
you
to
just
see-
wanted to see the
CGI
virus
for the way his
Yeah.
shoulders was with that
taking
metal
his
arm.
body and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see how much of the virus had taken a hold, and they did a really good job with that. And even the time travel stuff, we've seen all kinds of time travel with vehicles and wands and all kinds of stuff at this point. This little like iWatch, Apple Watch thing.
Yeah, and he only had one left to go back when the deed was done.
Yeah, and then they say, isn't that when they say that's lazy writing?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just lazy writing.
Yeah, but Brolin at least had the attitude for it.
Right.
He wasn't as tall as he's been drawn before, or as big as he's been drawn before, but he definitely had the attitude. Brolin made it seem like that Cable was not somebody you wanted to mess with. And at various points, he was able to take it to Deadpool, and Deadpool's a top assassin.
Yeah, put him on his butt.
Yeah, he put him on it. Yeah, he definitely did. Next, we'll go with Ruby Rose bringing the Batwoman to life on CW's Elseworlds crossover.
So much controversy behind that. Such fantastic characters.
It's so crazy.
I mean, that's why I also like this category, because some of the characters on here you would think would never see the light of day in live action.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
People went crazy when Batwoman got casted, and Batwoman I thought was actually an older character. She debuts in September of 2006 in the book called 52 in issue number 11. And I remember 52 was a story that they told around, I want to say 2006, 2005, where Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman were gone. They all, for various reasons, decided they weren't going to be around. And so it's about who else is around and who else is out there. And so this woman randomly appears, and she is the Batwoman, and it's about finding out who she is, and you find out she's the cousin of Bruce Wayne. But Ruby Rose endured a lot of hate, endured a lot of hate for her initial casting as the famously lesbian Kate Kane, aka Batwoman. The backlash seemed to stem from her not being gay enough.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I have no idea what that even means.
But she must have done a great job, because they ordered the pilot for her.
Yeah, she gained all the show. She gained all the show. She's getting the
Yep.
whole show. The actress came out when she was 12, according to her. So she is not only gay, but I'm assuming if you ask her, she's gay enough.
Right.
And this is the first time we see a live action version of this character. I think she was in Batman Bad Blood, the animated film. So we got a little bit of Kate Kane in there. But even what we got from her in the Elseworlds crossover wasn't huge. But she had the poise. In
the slight mystique.
I'm really wondering how that suit and that whole gear is gonna work, like every week. Like moving around live action
I
and stuff
think
like
they can
that.
do it.
Because they did a lot of cool pose shots.
Mm-hmm.
But they move around on those CW shows. They get into big fights, and they got to shoot them from all kinds of different directions and different lighting and stuff. So I really want to see what comes of that. But I dug it. I dug Ruby Rose's Batwoman. What do you guys think?
I thought it was fantastic. I thought she did great. She anybody can be, that character if they're good enough, and I think she's good enough to be Batwoman.
Yeah,
She has the jawline.
I think so. I think so too, because you know all the hullabaloo surrounding Batman and stuff like that. People wanting, clamoring for Batman on TV and stuff like that, or even in the movies. I don't want to say substitute, but
I mean, we've gone so far as
she
to
feels
say,
her own. She feels and takes her own spot in that. So I'm really, I'm kind of high.
Look
on
how much controversy there was behind Ben Affleck as Batman,
Oh,
or
yeah.
like, even
I don't
Heath
think
Ledger as
there's-
Joker. You know,
I don't
like,
think there's ever gonna be a straight away I dig that for Batman until they get Armie Hammer. But
Oh, please, no.
I think for a lot of those characters that have existed for 80 plus years, people are just not going to be, not the entire world is not all going to be set on the same actor when they're chosen. So there is that. Yeah, so I dug her. What I was going to say was that we've gone on record of saying here that we think that 2018 is one of the worst years for Batman in Batman history, with the repeated stalling of his film, with Bat Penis coming out in the comics,
Right,
with
that
the-
was a thing.
with
Yeah.
the
And then we
failure-
called that comic too.
with the failure of the Bat Wedding, and just all that's going on. And then literally Titans comes out with Screw Batman.
Yeah.
So it's like he's not doing the best. But
and Dick was the one that said it.
right. So it's like this real big push to like where, okay, well, we know the Bat will push to the side. So this is their version of that. Like, we can't give you Batman, but we can give you Batwoman. And so she still has they have the Bat signal. She's going to have her own little, Bat bunker where she has her Bat gadgets and her car. And I really want to see when they set up all that stuff. But
like every time he says "bat," people.
oh yeah. Think about like that scene of her coming down the elevator all mad and stuff like that. Like, if she can turn around some of this hatred that she's gotten for stuff like this and just put it in the role. You know what I'm saying?
Capitalize
Yeah,
on
right.
the hatred.
Put it in the role, man. Put it in the role. I know it's easier said than done, but Batwoman likes to beat up a bunch of punks. So Ruby, just think of those as all your Twitter trolls, and you should be good. What is without a doubt what took the longest to come to live action? The Wasp, played by Evangeline Lilly in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Who did great in
she-
a lot of the fighting roles, and a lot of the fight scenes.
That character debuts in Tales to Astonish number 44 in 1963. So we're talking 53 years?
And one of the founding members of the
55 years?
Avengers.
Yeah, and one of the founding members of Avengers is like, what? like,
Yeah, the fact that they
literally.
didn't put Ant-Man or the Wasp in the original Avengers team, and they subbed it. I mean, I like Hawkeye, I like Black Widow,
Yeah.
but I mean, I think they should have done Ant-Man and Wasp.
I like Hawkeye and Black Widow, to me, are only there because the Avengers work for S.H.I.E.L.D. So
Right.
it makes sense
Yeah.
that S.H.I.E.L.D. has members on that team to kind of make sure,
Yeah, but
everything's
even
going
they
on
don't
there.
go at like you would think that Shield is having them there so they can keep a leash on the Avengers, but
Yeah.
even those two members don't have you don't have a leash on them.
Oh, no, yeah.
No, Black Widow's always with Cap
Well, she
and
kind
even
of
Hawkeye.
traded on.
But I
and
mean,
so
you would
and
have
so
to
did
think
Hawkeye, too.
they're the best of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But
in a
they
sense.
but they also found out, as per Winter Soldier, that they have no job because Shield is
Right.
is Hydra. So I can see them eventually being like, you know what, screw all this. A lot of people felt like they would have a backdoor opening to getting those OG Avengers if both Ant-Man and Wasp would have survived the snap, and then they would have showed up with the OGs.
Right.
But it seems like we only have Ant-Man at this point.
That would be
and
cool.
so-
Just imagine like Endgame pops up with like old Hank Pym in the pulling the suit, Mackay
As
Pfeiffer
long as they
pulling
don't
the
show
suit.
that
Yeah.
old Hank Pym suit. That
Yeah,
old
that
Hank Pym
old
suit
Hank
is
Pym suit is
terrible.
terrible.
The one that he wore as an old
when
man.
they show the flashback.
No,
When
when
it's the old
when
when
he
Ant-Man
goes
and
in,
Wasp.
yeah, when he goes
Oh,
in.
when he
terrible.
decides he wants to go into the quantum realm, he has like this stiff, like terrible,
Rinky dink, yeah.
Give us Goliath too, why
astronaut.
not?
Oh,
Speaking
yeah.
of suits, that Wasp suit.
No, that Wasp was
is
fire.
sleek.
Yeah, it is.
That
How do you
Wasp
feel about it
was
not being the same
clean.
color? Usually they're a bit mixy matchy.
I really like it because it like everybody else pointed out, it resembles their not their animals but their insects. You know
Yeah,
how
I was thinking how the color
Ant-Man's
was.
looks like an sort of like an ant, and hers is more waspy.
I think they were trying
Yeah.
to go like because they already had how the yellow jacket looked. It looked like not a rip off, but it looked like how the yellow jacket outfit from the first one looked. Just
Yeah.
with more armor.
This one's like a blue and yellow.
Yeah,
blue and orange.
well, not really depending on how I feel in the morning, but I actually think her suit looks better than his.
No, honestly, her suit was. I liked her suit.
Well,
Or-
this was all just a big tease, right? Because we saw the suit. We saw the
Right,
suit
right.
in the first Ant-Man film, and she was in the first Ant-Man film, but her role with as the Wasp was definitely teased at the end of that. And so she's given a new suit with different abilities than Scott and things that she could do that he can't.
Like blasters.
And we finally get to see her in action, combat.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
she
and
did a
you were
really
just
good
saying she
job.
did a good job with combat. I prefer the longer hair. I know we were talking off air, and I
Yeah,
think you
you like
prefer
the
the
Yeah,
longer
shorter
hair?
hair.
I would like
Yeah,
the
I
short
prefer.
hair.
I like the short hair.
You like the
I would
shorter
Yeah, I
I
hair?
would
the
like the
short
shorter
hair.
hair on her with no problem, but just the fact that I got the chance to see Ant-Man and Wasp working together, even if the scenes were short, was still great. It was eye candy for
You
me.
know what it is? I always feel like that length looks like a wig. Like, can they ever cut it that short and it look natural?
I know what you
It
mean.
always feels like they put that on someone's head. It never feels like, and that's why seeing her with long hair, it was like, okay, you
Yeah,
know,
but if you're gonna be throwing hands, you can't let the bad guys.
I mean,
that's
at the end
true.
of the day,
Pull-
she should have
pull
a
the hair,
mask.
you know?
So
And the
I wouldn't
wasp
care about the
kind
hair
of sort of
if she has
sometimes has a
mask.
pixie cut. Wasp,
There
pixie,
you go. Yeah,
bugs,
yeah.
fairies, all that kind of stuff. So that makes sense there. But yeah, another strong female Marvel character because they haven't really been rolling these guys out. You got Black Widow, and
I
Okoye
know.
showed up this year, you know,
Yeah.
and Scarlet Witch. And that's about it. And we've seen that in Avengers.
Mhm,
So that's all we got. So now we
It's
got
tragic to think that Captain Marvel was going to be their first female solo film.
yeah.
So at least DC has something they don't have. They had Wonder Woman first.
Yeah, a lot of people actually thought it was going to be Black Widow. They thought they'd come out with the Black Widow film, but that has been in production like what every year.
That's in
Mhm.
production. That's in
Oh
purgatory
no, it's
at this
coming.
point.
It's coming. No, but I heard it's actually gotten a bit closer. But you know, that's neither here nor there. We also have debuting in the Brave of the Bold in 1964, the Titans, and I can't call them Teen Titans because I mean the Titans from DC Universe is Titans, and that's Tegan Croft playing Raven, Brandon Thwaites playing Robin, Anna Diop playing Starfire, and Ryan Potter playing Beast Boy. Let's get back on the
Lack of
bandwagon.
Cyborg.
Let's get back on the bandwagon. Yeah, a lot of hate when this
Yeah,
came out. A lot of hate when
I
these
I was
came
defending
out.
it. Granted, I haven't seen a lick because I don't have the DC streaming joint.
Yeah, neither have I. But the picture that I saw of Robin was the only one that I thought, wow, he actually looks pretty good.
But those have been fans of the Titans for so long. I've been hearing a lot of good things.
I watched it. I just want to say that I think that one of the most genius, devices in comic books right now is the idea of multiverse. So once you've sat and you understand that there are different versions of yourself across all
Right.
time and space, then every time you see a comic book adaptation that doesn't fit 2020 vision well how you see it, you just write it off as well in this universe. This is
Right,
that, and
right,
so.
right.
Oh yeah, because there's so many comics, so many stories, so many
Right.
different the elements. Like just because as long as Batman's parents died in an alley and that's how he became
He
Batman,
always has.
it
they always
doesn't
have to
matter
die.
if he curses or not. It doesn't matter if he kills or not because you could just say, oh, in Batman Earth 2025 he kills.
Right, and so this kind of with everyone knowing these characters and with everyone knowing what their story beats are. They did a good job of kind of like moving everything around and not making you feel like you
Right.
knew exactly what was going to happen next.
I mean, I'm still excited because they said they're getting another season.
Yeah,
And season 1 might be coming to Netflix.
yeah.
So I might be all over that.
And when you talking about checking boxes, Brenton Thwaites gets in the suit, throws a Robin Orang or whatever. It has the bow staff. Anna Diop, glows orange at one point, and her hair is
Mhm.
covered in fire. Ryan Potter does become Beast Boy, and you see him change into an animal and come back green. And Raven, you see her soul self. So if these are just the things that you were trying to check off
Mhm.
as to whether or not they're your Titans, they do them. They
So
all
it
do
has
them.
it has all the qualifications of what makes the Teen Titans the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
So then it doesn't matter how they look, I guess.
Yeah. Well, or people should at least be open minded to
I want
seeing
to
what
see
that
a
whole
Teen
situation
Titans
is.
from a world that people evolve from corn. Now that would be a Teen Titans. Stalk of corn, Beast Boy turns into a carrot.
All on a cob boy. I like that. Last but not least, making his debut in Ultimate Fallout #4 in August of 2011, we have Shamik Moore playing Miles Morales in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Miles was a fan favorite when he debuted in comics, as you guys know.
Yes.
The people ripped that book off the shelves, and many attribute his initial creation to Donald Glover's viral online marketing campaign to bring an African American Peter Parker to the big screen. When they were making Amazing Spider-Man, the one that Garfield ended up getting the role for, Donald Glover got hip to the fact that they were making it, and he tried to like do this big online campaign of like, I should be Peter Parker. All Peter Parker has to be is a geek.
Right.
And I'm a teenager.
That's it.
And I can do that.
He's not wrong.
I may get this wrong, and I'll probably be corrected if I am. But I heard that somewhere in that Sony contract, it's stated that Peter Parker needs to be white and a man at all times. A white
man.
Yeah. But
I mean, the name Peter Parker.
I want to say the person
minority,
that I want to say the person that wrote that is
into
the contract was a big fan of the animated series.
Yeah,
back then. So
that probably was
I can't be mad at that in a sense, you know, because even though I do have Miles, but so I can't be, you know.
Yeah, and you know,
that's the thing. It doesn't have to, just because Spider-Man could be black or Spanish or a woman doesn't mean their name has to be Peter Parker.
Right.
Give us a Rob Thomas and make him Spanish.
Well, Amazing Spider-Man 1 comes out 2012, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think that they're storyboarding and casting in 2010-ish to film in 2011 to get it out by 12, right? So, you know, even though Donald Glover was unsuccessful in getting the role, comic book writer and creator Brian Michael Bendis used his likeness, and there's even an episode of Community where he's wearing Spider-Man pajamas.
Yeah.
I have not seen this. I know you're a big Community fan, Dan.
Yeah, around season 4 or 5.
So he was trying to even then like put it into the world that, hey, I want to be Spider-Man.
I would love to see him as a Peter Parker, like an older Miles Morales. I'll take an older Miles Morales as long as I have.
Well, he ended up now he's in the universe.
He voices Miles Morales. Yeah,
he's the uncle of Miles Morales in the MCU.
In the MCU, is the
in
uncle
the
of
MCU, he's the uncle.
Is
of
his
Miles
last name Morales in Homecoming?
No, because their last names are not together, not the same in the.
But it's just stated
either.
that
he's like, I got a nephew.
I got a nephew that lives in this neighborhood.
You know, I don't want it to be too dangerous.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Nope, you're a criminal. Bye, criminal.
So, they took the inspiration from Donald Glover, and this comic comes out in 2011. So while they're spinning up to make this Emma Stone, Andrew Garfield epic, they just come out in the comics and go, well, we wanted to do it this way, so this is the way now it exists in the comics. And so, boom. The character has been adapted for TV. He's appeared in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, but he's never been adapted to the silver screen. And so Shameik Moore brings him into this, and this Shameik Moore is, I think, most notably known for Dope. But I think he was also in.
Yeah, he's the kid in Dope. Now I know because his name sounded familiar, and I was like,
he's in Dope, and he's also in the Get Down. If you've seen that.
Well, nope, he's Spider-Man now.
But now he's Spider-Man. This guy's like probably in his mid-20s now, but he got that 14-year-old voice.
Really yeah.
That was a fantastic ass animation.
He's got that 14-year-old voice down pretty well. I believed everything he said, even when he was fumbling his Spanish, when he was nervous, when he was upset. He did a real good job, and he's not known for his voice acting. Maybe this is going to be what moves that to the forefront, and his success in the role may move Miles to the forefront. May get Miles more.
That's definitely happening right now.
Get Miles more
before our eyes.
But it's now time to name the best debut of 2018, and the winner.
Let's see who the fans chose here.
Is Miles Morales. Shameik Moore Into the Spider-Verse.
It was a good movie. It was a good performance.
And again, it goes without saying, and I'll say it now, so I'll never have to say it again. Just because other things didn't win doesn't mean that they weren't great.
Right.
This just won the popular vote. Miles Morales is popular, and that makes me feel so happy.
Yes.
I'm so happy
I would
to
have
know.
liked Typhoid Mary to have been at least at least
that's
brushed off into a
that's
nomination, because I thought Alice Eve, for the way she is, she did a fantastic job.
I was actually just thinking about her today.
She was not used. I'm not used to seeing Alice Eve in such like a demanding badass role.
And she had to bounce between being like a sensitive.
Yeah, no, she handled the split personality thing really well. So, but Miles Morales, congratulations, because this is a character everybody wanted to see. Yeah. I'm glad that we got a chance to see it, and hopefully the success of Into the Spider-Verse will give them incentive to write him in the MCU.
Yeah, let's get it. The more the merrier. And I think Miles is besides probably Wasp, is the person who had the most spotlight on them in their specific
oh no, yeah, that movie
form
was
media.
definitely Wasp.
Titans had a spotlight on them, but you're constantly moving from different the perspective of different characters. Whereas we never really ever leave Miles Morales.
That's why it's hard to really
Spider-Man.
like see who is the shining light of a team, because you're trying to pay attention to the whole team
Right.
as a whole. You're not trying to think of it as just a group of people that don't like to work together. That's why let's not.
Well, I
digress.
definitely had to put them on here to acknowledge the fact that finally they've made it.
Right.
Real people are playing these
hell, even on
characters.
TNT, it went through development hell before it got picked up onto the streaming service.
And they kind of dropped the idea of live action in general with Robins since the
Chris O'Donnell,
Batman and Robin. We haven't seen a live action Robin on screen.
Oh, so you're saying
And
right
then
here
even
for
then,
the fans that Joseph Gordon-Levitt doesn't count?
He doesn't count. I do not count that. And if you count that, I don't count you. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But yeah, 1 award down, 6 more to go. But thanks, Mr. Miles Morales, because you're definitely killing it there. Let's go with Best Fight of 2018. Nominee number 1, The Warriors Falls fight between Black Panther and Killmonger. Let me set the stage for you.
Oh, that's a good fight.
With the country's biggest enemy, Ulysses Claw, in tow, Eric Stevens, a.k.a. Killmonger, walks straight into the Wakandan throne room and challenges T'Challa for the mantle of king. Turns out that Killmonger is secretly T'Challa's cousin, whose father was killed by T'Challa's father decades ago. The current king accepts Stevens' challenge after it's revealed that he has royal blood and has a right to the throne should he win. The two battled it out at the ceremonial Warrior Falls, and after killing his trusted advisor Zuri, Killmonger gets the upper hand and tosses the king off of a cliff. And
first of all, I'm just
fashion.
gonna point out Killmonger's urgency, because they said the ceremony would take days, and he didn't need days. He just needed him.
I don't need everybody. You don't gotta invite everybody. You just do it. Who want to come?
Yep.
Raise your hand if you want
to. Now, if you want to come, we're gonna go now.
Big
we're going.
Bat signal, like Black Panther signal. Like everybody, get to the falls now.
That's it.
If you can go, just be there. That's it.
I think it literally was just it was T'Challa's family and the Dori Milaje were the only ones and Zuri were the only ones there. None of the other tribes showed up because they didn't have time for none of that. But Warrior Falls, man, definitely made you realize that Killmonger was nothing to mess with.
Yeah, because in the earlier in the movie, you see him fighting Baku.
Yes, and I also think that could be right up there with this. No suit, cracking his head, no armor.
The M'Baku's fight and the thing about the Killmonger fight is they were two different levels of holy hellness. Like
I feel so too. He was probably on the same level with Black Panther as because he mashed him, not even mashed him, he kind of like squashed him.
Yeah, and don't forget that we saw the grace, I guess you would say, of T'Challa, because when he got M'Baku down, he told him like, yield, I don't want to kill you.
Yeah, I don't want to have to kill you.
I don't want to have to kill you. So right then and there, he lets you know that he has mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Killmonger was like, I think he's dead. Well, off the cliff. And so the gravity of the situation was much bigger.
Right.
And what I like about that fight was every time there was a crushing blow to T'Challa from Killmonger, they cut back to each member of his family. They cut to his mom every time he got punched. They cut to his sister. They cut to Shuri. Like it was. And
even all the literal cuts, all the times that he got slashed, the sound effect of it, you would feel it. It's like, I'm losing.
Even though
the editing was great.
Still watching it, still like, oh.
Yeah, you get, and the thing is, it's like multiple shots of like, shots to the rib, then to the thigh, cutting off the ankle, then a punch to the face. Like, so quick, and
very strategic.
He said he trained his whole life for that.
Yeah.
Like, his whole life for that moment. So, it goes without saying, he probably should have made sure the job was done, though. But besides that, that's what got Killmonger and Black Panther's fight at Warrior Falls nominated. But now we'll go into the second nominee, Thanos versus the Avengers on Titan. Let me set the stage.
Lord have mercy with that fight.
I think this probably has the best stage setting because it's at this point that Star-Lord, the Guardians of the Galaxy minus Groot and Rocket, and Gamora. and Gamora. So Drax and Mantis? Is that
Drax, Mantis, and Star-Lord.
Yeah, and Star-Lord.
Drax, Mantis, and Star-Lord meet up with Tony, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man, and they've all come to the conclusion that Thanos is coming. He's on his way. He's coming back to Titan, and their best bet is to come up with some kind of plan or some sort of offense to get him when he does show up. But when he does show up, only Doctor Strange is there, and those two go at it a little bit with some kind of like smart anarchy comments.
Of words.
Yeah,
he was given the backstory of his home planet.
Yeah, and those two exchange some thing before the signal is had, and everything kind of just goes out of control. We see team ups we've never seen before. We've seen people use their powers in cool ways we've never seen it before.
See Spider-Man saving everybody.
That was a party.
Spider-Man in the Iron Spider suit. Mantis using her powers to try to subdue Thanos. Even Drax getting some cool shots in.
It was magic, really.
The cloak is in the fight.
Yeah,
the cloak
is his hand.
The cloak
before he rips it off.
Cloak,
yeah, that cloak was in the fight. You know, he trying to stop him from closing his hands.
The only one that was not in that damn fight was Nebula, except for one little move where she throws a plane into him, and then that's it. That's it. She crashes into him, and then you don't see her for the rest of the fight.
I think the two, obviously Thanos is the MVP of that fight, but I think the two biggest MVPs of that battle are Tony Stark and Doctor Strange.
Definitely, I was definitely thinking the same thing. Cause
relentless, literally like their response time was amazing. Yeah. They were relentless, and they always had an answer for what was going on. And there's a lot of times where what was going on, I'd just be like, take me, whatever. Did he just break a moon and throw it? I'm done. I'm over it. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to have this fight
Stark
anymore.
Being ballsy.
The fight between Doctor Strange and Thanos was amazing because he was throwing the mirror dimension into him, and Thanos was turning that into a black hole. Strange was turning a black hole into butterflies.
Yeah, because they're throwing glass at each other, turning into butterflies.
Tony taking the hands to him.
Yeah, the bands of Sidorak you see him use, and turn into a million versions of Strange, which was really cool. Seeing the suit try to recuperate as it's being taken off. Was pretty cool.
But I love how like when he had like the millions of Stranges around him, like he used the Soul Stone and the Power Stone to just punch the real version of Strange. And the editing where each stone was lighting up every time he was using it was just great. Like he was using the Space Stone and the Power Stone to throw the moon.
Yeah. I thought
that's fantastic.
Yeah, and just all the ways that he was able to incapacitate everybody. Eventually, he ends up getting the better hand of Tony Stark, and he basically leaves with what he came for, the Time Stone. And that is basically the Thanos versus the Avengers on Titan.
My whole theater experience with that movie, everybody was just screaming when Tony got stabbed, and it's a big scene, but I guess Tony, at the end of the day, made him bleed. And I love that. Out of everybody that fought him, he was the only one to make him bleed.
Yeah, that's true. All that for
just like the
blood,
only
right?
like Cap being able to hold his glove while having 6 stones.
Punched him square in the
Bro, he held his glove when he had 6 stones. That's just as impressive. Like those two men are crazy.
I can't wait for the battles that will be unfolding in Avengers Endgame.
I'm still not ready.
We got Colossus versus Juggernaut. Big CGI
fight coming right up.
Oh my god! Just because you say there's a big CGI mess coming up doesn't excuse the fact that it's a CGI mess. But it was fun.
I had to throw in Juggernaut in something. I think that character portrayed that way, the only way we've ever known him, deserves some kind of.
The helmet was done correctly. I don't know how you mess up the helmet
on
X-Men 3.
Deadpool in half, and that's what Juggernaut should do. I'm gonna rip you in half now, and then he just rips him in half.
What?
It's like, why? I've always imagined you would be running at me with fits of rage in your eyes.
And he was like, he was fanboying for him. He was like naming the issues that he was in and all that kind of stuff.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really cool. And Ryan Reynolds brings that to life. But to see Juggernaut go against Colossus, that's straight out of the comics, and we got to see the weird.
Didn't he electrocute his ass?
Yes.
Like, that was
he
so
did. But there was
weird.
also like.
But they were also hitting each other with stuff.
At one point, he it looks like I think Juggernaut grabs the fist of Colossus and just like snaps his wrist. The metal snaps, like the metal cracks and stuff like that. So I just thought like the physiology of all of it was really weird.
Fighting dirty.
And the idea that he was fighting dirty and the song in the background was hilarious.
Oh, badass motherfucker. So like that.
You can stop him. So hilarious, so good. That there isn't much stage to set with that. But let's go into nominee number 3, Miles Morales, aka Spider-Man versus the Kingpin. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So you have Miles. He's finally allowed the rest of his group of merry men and women and Pig,
Right,
go
right.
back to their various dimensions, and that leaves him with Kingpin face to face. Kingpin, irate that all his plans are going, well, to crap, is motivated to kill another Spider-Man, another Spider-Man, after getting his hands dirty earlier in the film. This Kingpin is a Kingpin we've never seen. He's huge. He's throwing vehicles. He is stronger than we've ever seen, bigger than we've ever seen, and now in this case, angrier than we've ever seen. And yet, Miles, we've seen at every point, is young, inexperienced, and way over his head, and he has to do what he can to defend against this monstrosity that is the Kingpin. But what ultimately happens is he hears his father try to encourage Spider-Man to get up, and one rule is Spider-Man always gets up. And so to make sure and solidify that he is the one true Spider-Man, he does get up and is able to use a little bit of family magic to get Kingpin out. I mean, he doesn't kill the guy, but definitely gives him a shock for the system, and sees the day. I really, really like that scene. I liked that whole movie, to tell you the truth, and everything that they were able to do for the Spider-Man mythos. But it was cool for them to make Kingpin scary again, because Kingpin is definitely scary in the Daredevil season 3.
In the 90s animated cartoons, he looked huge.
Yeah. And Kingpin's been around. Kingpin has been being thrown around this year.
Yeah, he's been all over this year. So this is just a section of his awesomeness that we see as far as Miles and Kingpin is concerned.
Woo!
Another awesome fight. We got Arthur Curry and Mira versus the Aqua Guards
and Black Manta.
And Black Manta. We are in Rome, in Italy, hanging out. Mira's eating flowers. I don't know why. She's weird, but
eating flowers.
She's eating roses.
I out on seeing this movie.
Yeah, she's eating roses. There's a bunch going on, but things seem all nice, romantic, and everything. But just like several other points in this film, an explosion happens in the background, and all of a sudden, the armed guards of Atlantis are there, and not only are they there, but Black Manta is there for the first time in live action history. He is there in an awesome suit, and all the Atlantean guards have all these weird, cool suits that they're managed to keep water inside the suit so they can breathe and stuff.
The aqua packs.
We see a couple cool tracking shots of them.
I was just about to say that the transitional shots for that fight was A1.
Watching them track, running after Mira and busting through concrete walls and through roofs, I thought was amazing. And then watching the amount of damage that Black Manta was able to get on Arthur Curry was really, really cool, because at that point, nothing really affects Aquaman. Nothing really hurts him. Nothing really, you might push him to the side a little bit, but he was like knocking him out at various points. They both sides seem pinned down before some ingenuity, without spoiling it, helps them save the day. Mira is able to use her aquakinesis, and Aquaman is just able to use his brain, and those two are able to subdue
aquakinesis. You're gonna have to put a patent on that word.
Aquakinesis.
You have to trademark that word there.
Aquakinesis. They use their various strengths to get over the baddies and seize the day. So that definitely deserves to be nominated. And last but not least, the second time he makes it to this list, Kingpin versus Bullseye versus Matt Murdock in Daredevil season 3.
Triple threat.
The very last
meat and potatoes of that show. I think the whole entire show built up to that kind of even if they would have thrown Punisher in there with Punisher, Bullseye, and Matt Murdock, the fact that even those three men together are fighting, is just fantastic.
I guess to set the stage, Fisk is trying to have a public wedding and trying to have everybody come by while he marries Vanessa. And Bullseye, who's had just enough of Wilson Fisk's crap, shows up in the Daredevil outfit to kill him, to call him out and kill him, because he has realized that Fisk has been playing him this whole time. So who's there to save Wilson Fisk from Bullseye of all people but Matt Murdock? Matt Murdock shows up, and it literally becomes a triple threat, with all three hitting each other at various points, using their various skills, and just like seeing the blood on Wilson Fisk's all white suit, seeing what Wilson Fisk was able to do with a man when he picks him up. He literally picks up a man and runs him as fast as he can to the corner of a wall, cracking his spine, putting his spine entwined, and literally causing a man to be paraplegic. Yeah. And then Matt holding in his anger to not kill Kingpin, and just emote and announce that he's won, that Matt Murdock has won. I thought that was.
I feel like he had to say that out loud.
Yeah.
So that way he could at least get it out of his system.
And Charlie Cox, what a fantastic Matt Murdock / Daredevil.
If this is the end of this, you can't really ask for anything better. You know?
I will agree with you on that one. If this is the end of seeing these actors play this character under Drew Goddard, then what a fantastic way to go out.
Yeah. And that show has never skimped on its action scenes, you know?
Not even in the
That's why I
slightest.
don't understand its cancellation, because it never, to me, did bad. It seemed to only get better as each season progressed.
2 words, Disney Plus.
That's true, even though I don't know if plus is a word.
Oh, that's not what they're calling it?
No, they're calling it Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's Disney.
But it's going to be a plus sign.
Yeah, it's the plus sign.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's a Disney Plus sign. But let's see what won the best fight of 2008. Dun, 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 dun. The winner is the Avengers versus Thanos on Titan.
Oh, man.
The party.
Thanos getting the first stone of the awards tonight.
In his gauntlet, Thanos has gotten 1 stone in his gauntlet. But yeah, I mean, I don't think any other fight on this list has the scope. Just the big, right. The scope and stuff, and what they were able to do with special effects. Like, we used to watch these movies and just be happy that they look like they supposed to look in the comics,
or at least have a good dialogue, and it's not boring.
Yeah, but this, like, multiple versions of Strange, Spider-Man hopping out of dimensions, Star-Lord jumping off of Strange's little
portal walks.
It was definitely all over the place, but something that's all over the place was visually freaking pleasing.
They managed to make a 7-on-1 not seem jarring, and that's the most important thing. Not only did everybody get to shine within their 2 or 3 seconds on screen, but it's just that seeing them all on top of him trying to get the glove off and not being able to do it is just great.
And then
seeing
eventually wiping the floor with everybody.
Yeah, and it did get pretty close, and a lot of people still have a very strong resentment towards Star-Lord for that.
I say Star-Lord did nothing wrong because Nebula, during that whole fight, did nothing to help try and get that glove off. Didn't even try and get Star-Lord back. She could have easily grabbed his arm. Did nothing. Yeah. No one wants to talk about it.
She was just getting there.
That's a bop.
She was just watching. She was watching. She had her popcorn out.
She has a complicated history with that man, so I let her pass for that. Time for award number 3, the best TV show, comic book TV show of 2018. The nominees are Daredevil Season 3. When Wilson Fisk is released from prison, Matt Murdock must decide between hiding from the world or embracing his life as a hero vigilante. Really dug Daredevil Season 3. Brought Daredevil back to the all black. Back from the dead, back in the black. And back to basics.
Right. His rise in that whole show was definitely something to behold.
It's a roller coaster of emotions for this show, man.
Yeah, it is. You see them. He actually does fall from grace at multiple times. He curses God. He pushes his friends away. He really, is self-destructive at a certain point in this, just because he doesn't understand where he fits with this vigilante life and what's actually going on in the world.
That is awesome to see the struggles and the adversities that these characters go through instead of just, oh, I had this accident once and now I'm just going to be the hero that everybody needs.
Yeah, right.
No, I want to see these people be like, these people don't need me. I'm in the news as a criminal. The cops are after me. Why am I helping?
There's a lot of that in this season.
Yeah, so it's like, why should I help you? Like, why should I help anybody? I feel it, and I love it all.
He definitely had to figure it out all over again. So.
We got the cool inclusion of a new character called Agent Nadim, and through him, we're able to see how Wilson Fisk is able to turn everything around and have the FBI in his pocket, the CIA in his pocket, all these kinds of people in his pocket. So I think that's pretty cool, and Vincent D'Onofrio just tears it up as Kingpin, man.
Oh my god, I'm so glad that Kingpin had a redeemable actor. Like Michael Clark Duncan, rest in peace, was a phenomenal actor. Just it wasn't Kingpin. His dialogue wasn't written.
He didn't get the stake. He didn't get the stake to play with. He didn't get like something to really chew on and really make it his. That was more about being Ben Affleck's
just seemed like
movie.
any other. Yeah, he just seemed like any other mob boss. He just seemed like any other criminal. He didn't seem like the Kingpin. So D'Onofrio coming here with the bald head and the white suit and not that he's built, he's fat, and that's what I love in my Kingpin. I love my Kingpin to be fat and
But
bald.
they even show him in season 2 like pumping some weight and getting
Oh, that doesn't mean he's not strong. No.
Yeah.
Like Fisk can definitely throw tables at you. I remember in the cartoon he was throwing tables at Spider-Man.
I think this is the actual like the first time we actually see the kingpin of crime, tearing through stuff because he has his hands in everything. Everybody's threatened. Everybody's on the
all
payroll.
the pots. Yeah, his reach was far.
Yeah,
dude.
it was out of control. He did a great job.
So phenomenal there.
Yeah, we got Luke Cage season 2. Where Cage becomes a hero and a celebrity in Harlem after clearing his name, only to face a new threat in Bushmaster. Bushmaster shows
violence
up.
galore over here, just tearing through everybody.
But we also have this weird twisted relationship between him and Mariah, where Bushmaster is hellbent on killing Mariah Stokes, and Luke Cage refuses to let Bushmaster kill Mariah. But a lot of people are telling Luke, like, you probably should just let it happen. Yeah, in the same way that Batman should probably just kill the Joker and then there would be no more death. But then Batman doesn't want to break his one rule to then, I guess, so then...
Luke Cage is a church boy,
Yeah.
He doesn't even like saying curses.
But it was
Merry
weird, like,
Christmas,
because
Holy Christmas, whatever.
she was there like...
Sweet Christmas, that was it.
Yeah, she's there like, I know you're going to save me because you're just a good guy. And that's what good guys do. And that hurt him to hear that because he's like, I don't want to be that predictable. Like, I thought I was doing this for good reasons, but if I'm just helping bad people get off, then what's the point?
Which is kind of smart because she kind of taking advantage of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she did take advantage. She used them. Yeah, let's talk about Titans season 1. When Dick Grayson and Raven require assistance to deal with a plot that threatens the entire planet, they join forces with Starfire and Beast Boy to form the Titans. I'll tell you right now, they never call themselves Titans. I don't know if they ever consider themselves an official team. So that's that too.
Oh, great! Another fan force stick element. Like
no, it didn't end with, and we should call ourselves, and then it just
right. Look how the way the first Avengers went, the way the third Fantastic Four went, the way one of the X-Men went, where they're a team because they're forced to be a team. I don't really like seeing teams that are forced to be a team. I want to see people come together because you have the skills I don't have, or you have the necessary tools that I need, and we can work together because we're both good guys. I like seeing good guys come together because, hey, you have the meat, I have the potatoes, let's make this meal.
Yeah. In this, it does feel a little bit ham-fisted how they get together, but they're going to, so you're
right. So you just put that
trying to get past that.
They're already established characters in the when the season 1 starts. It's not like you're seeing their origins. They're already established.
No, all
heroes.
of them, but I want to say Raven. You're seeing Ravens for the most part.
Oh, then that's not too bad. As long as they're like already established characters in their universe, I don't mind. I don't want to see an origin story.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. They did real good things with these guys, but they also do like really good things with like Hawk and Dove is in this show.
I heard about that. I've seen pictures of them and stuff too.
Jason Todd is on this show.
Like as Red Hood or just
as Robin?
As
Robin, and as Robin, like, bro, why are you so stressed? Like,
right.
He lets me drive the Batmobile, like one of those kind of.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I dig it.
So we get to see some of that. I think that they really starting to find their footing, and considering it's the first show on their service, it'd be like the first ever show on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Like, how good the first ever Netflix original show.
Daredevil had all the attention and all the expectations on that.
Exactly, that's exactly what that is. Something that flew a little bit below the radar: Cloak and Dagger season 1. In New Orleans, teenagers Tandy and Tyrone come from different backgrounds and have acquired superpowers after a life-changing event revolved around the collapse of the Roxxon golf platform. As the relationship unfolds, they soon realize that their powers work better when they're together, but their feelings for each other already make things complicated in a world that's getting more challenging. This was kind of a young adult sort of show. I saw a couple episodes and I really dug it. I think that it's going in a pretty cool direction, and I hope they get a season 2. Cloak and Dagger is not really known all that much.
Well, see, I know them from the Runaways because they and that's from seeing them appear in the graphic novel Runaways. I started reading more up on them, and that's why when they said that they were going to do a Cloak and Dagger show, I was hyped to see this. But to see them as teens, it's like, maybe I'll check in season 3 or 4 if it goes that long. Maybe I'll wait till they're adults to watch.
And they're also on what streaming service are they on?
Freeform.
So that's Hulu.
Or Hulu.
So that would be Hulu.
Interesting. Because that's another thing. I gotta get my streams up.
Yeah, you gotta have. I mean, to catch everything, bro. At this point, you gotta have. You have to have every service. It's a lot.
Yeah, no, it's pretty jarring that you have to have 15 streaming services to watch everything you want to watch.
But I think if you guys have a chance, give it a shot. It definitely feels like something different. It doesn't. If it felt like the same old operatic show, it wouldn't even be on this list. But I think people should give Cloak and Dagger season 1 a shot.
So it deserves its spot on.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
can catch Cloak and Dagger on.
It's
Hulu.
also one of the highest rated. And I don't know, this is not really the metric for anything, but the highest IMDb rated. One of the highest IMDb rated shows as far as the comic book genre is concerned. Coming back for her third season, Supergirl season 3. In this third season of the show, Supergirl is struggling with the loss of her former lover, Mon-El, after he's forced to depart Earth. He shows back up from the future, introduces all of the Legion of superheroes, and Kara tries her best to focus on just the Supergirl alter ego, while also facing a new threat. And Martian Manhunter discovers his father is still alive. Plus, Alex and Kara unbeknowingly befriend a Kryptonian survivor called Rain, and she gives Supergirl quite a wallop. It was a good season of Supergirl. I think it was better than 2, but not better than 1. I really like season 1 of Supergirl.
That says something to me, because season 2 was real.
But all last year's CW shows, Supergirl's the only one nominated. Right. All last year's CW shows went to hell. I don't know what happened last year, but I do know what happened last year.
It was the showrunner.
Andrew Kreisberg. Was it Andrew Kreisberg? I don't want to say. I think it's Andrew Kreisberg. He got caught up in all that Me Too stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so he got pulled.
That was sort of like a thing.
So
right?
once the showrunner went, it's like all the magic and
he's a villain, and so half of him went, and then they had to kind of patchwork everything, and because of that, we got less of our shows because of it.
Less of what we like.
So I figured Supergirl rarely gets nominated for stuff, so I throw her in there. But last but not least, the other CW show that's on this list and making its debut, Black Lightning season 1. High school principal Jefferson.
His first season though.
Yeah,
let's go.
Like I knew nothing about this character, so it was an impressive first season. Or even my grandmother was. I caught my grandmother watching this, watching it a couple of times.
Yeah. So you got high school principal Jefferson Pierce suits up once again as Black Lightning to save his daughters Anissa and Jennifer from trouble. In doing so, he breaks his promise to his ex-wife to retire from being a superhero for good. But what Jefferson intended to be a one-time stint, however, becomes a full-time return into wearing the cape when he learns that he and his family are being targeted by the criminal organization that calls itself the 100 and the shadowy government agency called the ASA. So the majority of this show deals with the fact that there's a shadowy organization that years ago experimented on black children to try to find out if they can give them powers, and then they had to freeze some of them.
It's like a weird ass Tuskegee experiment.
Exactly.
Shit.
Yeah, it's pulling from real life stuff to try.
That's the Tuskegee experiment.
Yeah, with the hepatitis and stuff, syphilis and all that kind of stuff. There, yeah. So, and it plays a lot into all that kind of stuff and how poor neighborhoods, people not looking for those people and what's happened to them. But we find out that Jefferson is one of the people that was experimented on as a kid, and that's why he has his powers. They just weren't able to get their hands on him to freeze him up, and dealing with what the fallout is of all that. Black Lightning is back. Why is he back?
Black Lightning's back.
You got Tobias Whale as the villain. Who's playing an albino. He is playing an albino. He is an albino, but it's weird because they play him with a level of self-hatred. Right. Like he doesn't like black people. But all his features are black, but his skin is white because he's albino.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they have this weird kind of cool, like self-hatred thing going on where like you don't even know who you are in your own skin, but you're out here saying N-word to this and N-word to that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Besides that, I think the soundtrack is pretty cool, and it's cool to see 2 young black women as heroes. Right. That doesn't really happen anywhere.
No,
I mean, it definitely resonates with
the urban community. Yeah, it does.
I think the last black female superhero we had was Catwoman.
Yeah, and Storm. We don't played by the same woman.
We don't talk about.
You don't talk about Catwoman.
Shh. Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
But let's grab this envelope.
But yeah, we gotta find out what is the best TV show for 2018, and the winner is Daredevil season 3.
Ooh, Matthew.
Congratulations.
Winner, chicken dinner. Matt could have won this with his eyes closed.
Oh, because I personally, I loved season 2. Yeah. I thought season 2 was a vast impression.
See, well, you know what's weird? I did not like season 2. I didn't like the ninjas.
Yeah.
Really? I was tired of like.
Come on, Ray. I was tired
that all of this was. I was tired that all of this was going. That was the best part of it.
Yeah, right.
You cut that season in half. That whole side is good. All the Elektra lovey-dovey Black Sky stuff, I'm not a fan of it. It's just like the mythology. Let's talk about the chase, and let's talk about the hand, and let's talk about the. Can we get to these hands? Can we get to the actual hands?
I thought season 1 was pretty boring when it wasn't getting to like the Daredevil stuff, like, and not just seeing him in the costume, but just him being Matt Murdock. It was too much focusing on the lawyer. It was focusing on
I've heard that, yeah.
Trying to get the friendship going, or him falling in love.
First
with
of all,
what's her name was Claire. Or something?
Homeboy Stick is money. All right, my man Stick.
Oh yeah, I love
Stick. Money.
No, I'm not. It's not about Stick. It was just. It was like how your complaint was with Iron Fist season 1. There was too much Meacham. I felt it was too much law stuff. It was too much law stuff and not enough. Let's get down to Kingpin doing this and Matt trying to stop him. So when we had season 2, yeah, I get it. There was too much of the backstory with his love with Elektra and all that, but I thought the action, the writing, big improvement. So season 3 definitely deserves to be a winner here.
Yeah, I actually agree. And season 3 won by a long shot. So whoever told their friends to tell their friends to go for season 3, you got what you wanted, because season 3 of Daredevil has won for the best TV show of 2018.
Congratulations.
But let's go from the good to the bad. Let's find out the baddest of the bad or the best of the bad. When we talk about the best villain of 2018.
Feels evil in here all of a sudden.
Badass bad guy.
Let's start off with the first nominee, Wilson Fisk, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, and he was in Daredevil, Spider-Man for the PS4, and Into the Spider-Verse.
He was just all around the medium this year.
I said that earlier.
Wow.
He was everywhere this year.
That is
all
fantastic
in one year. Without a doubt, 2018 was the year of Wilson Fisk.
Oh, no, yeah. For that alone, then he definitely deserves to be up here.
Because you already got his spectacular return in season 3 of Daredevil, where the crime boss literally had his finger in every pie. We were just talking about that. Mm-hmm. You got the pivotal role that he plays in Spider-Man for PS4, where he shows that he's there for a reason. Mm-hmm. And once you take him out of that Jenga, all the blocks fall. Which I thought was pretty impressive. But yeah, the Kingpin of Crime has dominated the comic book media with not one but 3 tremendous appearances in the past year.
But I hope they bring him into the comics more. As like, hey, look, he's succeeding here. Let's bring him into comic books again.
Yeah, or even any of these 3 iterations. They could take a time to flesh out any one of these 3. But yeah, he managed to finish off the hat trick with his appearance in the Golden Globe winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where his sheer girth and malice was put on full display. His frightening stature, cold demeanor, and willingness to kill anyone standing in his way has earned him this nod. What do you guys want to say about Wilson Fisk?
Yeah, talk about a house. He was a definitely
house.
Polarizing house in that movie. And kudos to the animation for adding emphasis.
I think I say
on
kudos to the Animaniacs. I don't know what that is.
I don't know that has Vincent D'Onofrio, man. Like I don't think Vincent D'Onofrio gets enough praise for bringing Kingpin to life.
I really like his Kingpin. I think it has a bit of Full Metal Jacket.
And I feel he has the accent without it going cartoony. Like I feel like he has that Kingpin monotone without going full on like Russian accent.
Yeah, he's definitely well spoken. So that's a good he works on that.
From the game to the movies to Daredevil, all around he's got a good spread, man. If Daredevil came out this year, the movie, that would be the only blemish.
It's also
Duncan.
It's also one of those if you don't know now you know kind of situation now, right? Like if you didn't know about Kingpin, this year alone should have showed you at least a version of Kingpin that you could.
There's no way you could escape him. If you watched this Into the Spider-Verse and played the Spider-Man game and then watched Daredevil, there's no way that you cannot say, "Oh my God, I'm seeing the Kingpin everywhere now."
Yes. But now let's talk about Patrick Wilson's Ocean Master in Aquaman.
Who can do no wrong? I love this man.
You see, nothing will get in between little King Orm and his throne as seen in the Aquaman film. Not only does he create a false flag event to pursue his comrades to join him in a war against the surface, but when his own brother, Arthur Curry, shows up, he immediately challenges him to a battle to the death for the crown. His disdain for those who live on the surface, combined with his love of his people, forces Orm's hand as he feels the only way to protect his kingdom is to become the Ocean Master and hold dominion over the 7 seas. Hell-bent on making this a reality, he wages war against anyone who dares defy his rule, friend or foe.
So this was basically Black Panther underwater.
But there wasn't an evil dictator in Black Panther.
True.
That was only the good dictator in Black Panther.
well, wasn't Killmonger
this would be Lion King if the movie started with Scar.
Oh, snap.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the movie starts with Scar, and everyone's like, Mufasa's the true lion. And it's like, no, well, he never showed up
so there was no Aquaman being the true leader, and then Ocean Master was always the leader.
Always Scar. Simba was raised by the Puma and Timon, and now they're telling Simba, yo, They need you over there.
You
And he's
gotta
like,
come-
I
yeah,
don't, I don't.
So it's the last
gotta
half
come back.
of Lion King, basically.
Yeah.
That's great.
This is
Walk
a great-
into Lion King halfway through. You got Aquaman.
Yeah, this ruthless dictator surely made some waves in 2018. So that's how Ocean Master
I
got
bet
his
you he wrote that
nod.
Ocean to Ocean song.
Oh my
I
god!
bet you
I
that was
hate
his-
that Ocean song.
I bet that's his theme
We don't
song.
speak about that on the show. He was angry, but he wasn't really vengeful because nothing was done to him. He just had anger to move forward. But if you want to talk about vengeful, listen, revenge. That's the one word to describe Mustafa Shakir's Bushmaster in Luke Cage season 2. He's a killer from the Caribbean.
There's a storm of violence that just came in,
chopping up the bodies,
Definitely
slighted on spikes.
Yeah, he was slighted by the Stokes family. In more ways than one, Bushmaster shows up to Brooklyn and then to Harlem with one thing in mind: the head of Mariah Stokes on a pike. Even when the mighty power man Luke Cage himself steps in his way, he is handled quite efficiently by the master of capoeira. You saw that capoeira? Those capoeira moves out there?
That's that dance fighting.
Dance fighting, baby.
Yeah.
John McIver is a deadly fighter in his own right, but beating him is near impossible when he takes his herbal concoction called Nightshade, known to increase the strength durability.
That's a real deadly
flower.
Nightshade. Yeah, Nightshade is actually a real flower that kills you. It's crazy.
Known to increase the strength, durability, and endurance of its user, Bushmaster becomes that much more dangerous, and with laser focus, unique fighting skills, and undeniable swagger, Bushmaster is a shoo-in for best.
Okay, so this
villain.
reminds me of Black Panther. I'm finding a lot of Black Panther elements in all of these movies.
Well, there's only so many ways you can do a villain.
Yeah, true, but
in general,
but the whole taking of a plant to get these powers, like
yeah, but he also becomes dependent on that.
Yeah, he does, and it breaks him. It breaks his body down and stuff like that. He actually becomes less and less of a villain as the story progresses. I was gonna nominate Mariah, but Mariah got nominated in the first year.
Yeah, but I did not. I thought you should have went with what's his not Diamondback? Cottonmouth. I thought you should have went, but then I watched Luke Cage after the award show, and you're right. Mariah was she deserved that.
Yeah,
that nomination.
She deserved what she got in season 2 of Luke Cage. Let's just say that. But you were talking about it, so let's bring it up. Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger in Black Panther.
Oh, one of my he was my second nomination, honestly. Like, I really thought he was fantastic, bringing the role to life, working with Ryan Coogler for like the third time.
Yeah, and those two got chemistry. And very few villains have been as relentlessly charismatic as Michael B's Killmonger. Showing up with something to prove, Eric Stevens was able to infiltrate the secretly advanced nation of Wakanda, challenge their king T'Chaka, and win. Albeit temporarily. Killmonger's radical nature called for the death of his oppressors as he hoped to arm those oppressed against them. His last words seem to resonate with many, even those who do not believe in his nefarious ways. Bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships because they knew that death was better than bondage. Hoping to restart the world, Eric fought valiantly for his cause. And when it comes to determination, Killmonger has no equal. How do you guys feel about Killmonger?
Yeah, super determined. He tells you he's been ready for this all his life, or at least getting ready for this all his life. So him coming through and giving T'Challa the hands, as we like to say.
And it was seeming like that he didn't look like the main villain. Like, it seemed like Claw was the main villain throughout the entire movie, and then nope, here comes Killmonger.
Because in his mind, like every calculating villain, he has to think what he's doing is right, or taking back what's his.
What won me over about Killmonger is that I didn't know I wanted this for my villains, but now I like my villains to be funny. He was kind of funny at various points.
You look at Loki. Loki's pretty hilarious.
And that's what kind of keeps him there. And even the Joker in Dark Knight is funny at certain points. He's just plain funny. When he's dressed up like a nun, he's just, a nurse. He's just plain funny. And in this, Killmonger with like the whole high auntie.
Yeah, he had Western swagger. He didn't have that their kind of swagger that they had in Wakanda.
Yeah, and I guess a lot
American
of us
swagger.
we saw that. Right. That's what we see every day. So
we're
to see
from Brooklyn, so Oakland's kind of the same. So you have that. You see the hood mentality. You're like, oh, yo, this guy's one of us. And he's right. You should share this with the world, but kind of shared it in a wrong way. But
him yelling, "Killmonger, I have not yielded, and as you can see, I am not dead." And then Killmonger goes, "Nah, we over with that shit.
Yeah, that's done.
That's over with. That's over with. I already did that." And it was like
we thought you was dead, but that's all we needed.
Because even in this very serious moment, he's still all like And like I said
And
before,
Michael
where he's
B.
like
Jordan,
high
like,
on tea.
Yeah.
All that stuff. When I tell you to do something, you do that shit.
I mean
that shit. Let's talk about Sacha Dhawan from Iron Fist Season 2 playing Davos.
A big improvement from Season 1.
Definitely. How far would you go for your destiny? Because Davos believed that he was always destined to wield the Iron Fist and defend Kunlun from all enemies. He kind of was. Even after being bested by Danny Rand in combat, he swore that he would be the one his people would turn to in time of crisis. To him, Danny squandered the blessing of the Fist and made a mockery of his years of training. Because Danny left. He left Kunlun. He quit.
This was his birthright. This man lost his birthright to some blonde-haired, blue-eyed white boy that came
to
in
from a foreign exchange student, kind of.
I mean, to me, he was the jealous best friend screaming, "Should have been me."
Shut up, Ben.
Especially when what he's screaming about has his name all over it.
Yeah, kind of true. The person who's training the Iron Fist happens to be his father, so it's a weird, convoluted, twisted scope there. But blinded by his hatred from his former friend, Davos journeys to New York City to confront Danny and ultimately take his destiny into his own hands. Not only does he outright steal the Iron Fist from Danny Rand, he forces the hero to rethink his entire path. Mm-hmm. The entire show changes from that one moment. Without Davos, Iron Fist Season 2 wouldn't have been as dynamic as it was, and I'm sorry it got canceled. But when you talk about somebody who actually moves the plot and makes people change, Davos did that. Davos did that with joy.
Was clear as day, one of the best antagonists to come into the medium this year.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, this was a year of bad guys winning.
But who was the Season 1? It was the Meachums, and then it was like Madame Gao for a little bit, Bakudo for a half an hour.
It was straight up. It was the Meachum father.
Yeah, so it's
the
like
Meachum father. It was like if Malcolm Merlin was your villain for the first 2 seasons of Arrow.
But not only that, it's the idea. This is a kung fu superhero, and the villain is gonna be somebody
like the Big Lebowski.
The villain is gonna be somebody he doesn't fight in a kung fu fight. You understand? So it's like, what the heck is the point of any of that? Where Davos, you were ready to see those two fight, and those two had awesome.
Oh, they had some great fight scenes.
And Davos was given a level of depth where you actually saw, like, he did honestly feel betrayed. He did honestly feel
like it honestly should have been him
and all that kind of stuff. And the weird relationship he has with his mother, the distance and stuff like that,
she's a cold woman.
It brought everything around. Cold woman. And then seeing that things like sex don't excite Davos, like he's all like,
right,
okay,
what?
This does not interest me.
Yeah, where
woman?
is the Iron Fist? I thought you said the Iron
Fist.
Give
me the Iron Fist.
So yeah, man, Davos definitely deserved to be on this list. But out of all of our nominees, some may have pushed our protagonists to their limits, some may have changed the status quo, but no villain fully accomplished their sought-out plan other than the Mad Titan Thanos in Avengers: Infinity War.
Well, that's like I was saying before. This was a year of villains winning, whether for 5 minutes or for seemingly the rest of the movie.
No, this homeboy won the whole movie.
Yeah, Killmonger still stood on that throne. Davos still held the Iron Fist. Thanos has all 6 stones.
And killed our friends.
Yes.
All of our friends.
Yeah, because it was Thanos who conquered our divided Avengers like it was child's play. It was Thanos who snapped Loki's neck.
Child's play is underrated.
Like a twig.
He was playing with his toys. That's what it was. Andy playing with Buzz and Woody. Like, Thanos did not care. His plan was all 6 stones, snap out half of humanity, save the rest of us.
That's it. It's Thanos who goes from stone to stone and collects them all. It's Thanos who tosses the one person he ever cared about, Gamora, off of a cliff just to get closer to that destiny.
Little one.
The Mad Titan was a figure in the shadows for a decade, but many say that Avengers Infinity War was his coming out party, and it's hard not to see why. A lot of people was waiting with bated breath, arms crossed, wanted to see what this guy was going to do. Finally, and he killed it. They killed it.
This should have been a debut year for him, to be honest with you. We've seen him.
It's 3 other movies. I really wanted to count him, but he was literally in 3 other movies.
That's why there's, I guess, the difference between debut and breakout.
Yeah.
Because if you want to go with a breakout role, this was perfect breakout role for Thanos.
Definitely.
But yeah, we did have that one conversation in Guardians where he was talking to Ronan, so I guess we can't say it's a debut, but
he didn't really do nothing. He had a lot of dialogue.
Thanos,
get busy.
Oh my god, he took apart the Hulk like nothing.
And he took off his a very famous armor. Like he's always been drawn with that armor.
Like it was nothing.
He took it off because he didn't need it, and he just went and just did everything. And then he ended the movie smiling.
This was fantastic.
Out of control.
He also did seem like he was having fun with every fight.
Yeah, he did.
This seemed like this was just a game to him. Like, listen, I know I'm winning.
You guys are it's only a matter of time before I get it.
Like, I'm gonna let you guys have your fun. Like, you know, Taylor, I'm gonna let you finish. But
a plot this long, I'm not going home. I'm not going home with nothing, dude.
And we've waited this long, so let's find out who the best villain of 2018 is.
Everybody's biting their nails. Anticipation.
The Mad Titan Thanos from Avengers Infinity War has won Best
God.
Villain of 2018. That is 2.
great.
He has won Best Villain and he has won Best Fight so far. The Mad Titan has
2 out of 2 Thanos.
killing it. Definitely killing
The
it.
most evil, and he's got the most hands.
Yeah.
Is he truly evil? If you want to think, it's a weird. If you use the perspective, like
I don't know if he's
altruist.
malicious. I count evil as being malicious. I count evil as actively trying to hurt people. Just because
for
you want
personal
to.
gain.
Yes.
Like this wasn't personal gain. This was for everybody. So
And
it was
with-
altruism, but it was misguided altruism.
And with that if so facto kind of definition, you can kind of count him as a villain or anything.
No, he was definitely a villain because he beat our heroes. Like we know this is Captain America, this is Iron Man. They're our heroes. Thanos is bad guy, wants to kill, blah blah blah.
Right.
But this was still his movie to me. I
Yeah.
feel like this was his story.
And it's crazy because we've seen so many of these stories before, so many of these movies before, read so many of these comics before, watched so many of the television shows before, but they are still able to come up with some organically
from scratch
you
stuff.
know, made whole cloth, made from scratch moments and dialogue that always gives me goosebumps. Every year they're still able to up it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the best moments of 2018 and try to put a finger on what is the best comic book movie moment of 2018.
Oh, there was just so many. So many.
Let's start with my personal favorite. Miles Morales suits up, aka What's Up Danger. Let me set the stage for you. Everyone
so much
has
magic behind it.
Everyone has counted out Miles Morales' ability to be Spider-Man because he is inside of his own head way too much. He's given some expert advice by an older Spider-Man who says that all it takes to be Spider-Man is to have the ability to have a leap of faith. Give yourself a leap of faith. You will never know when you're ready to be Spider-Man. And because you'll never know, it'll always be in the back of your head that you're not. And so you have to be able to have faith in yourself and in the process to go forward and to become that hero. And so we finally see Miles give in to his destiny. And he finally, does that leap of faith, both literally and figuratively, when he goes and is given gifts of web shooters, creates his own Spider-Man costume out of spray paint, a nod back to his relationship with his deceased uncle, and then decides to take a train to the highest building that he can find.
So he lost his uncle here too. Every Spider-Man loses an uncle. It's just how it goes and throughout all the timelines.
Every Spider-Man. So he finds the tallest building he can and leaps off of it with a blaring soundtrack in the back and the city lights coming in. They even found a way to switch the shot to look like he was floating up and flying.
Yeah, into the city and stuff.
An amazing scene, and one of my favorite, most fun movie moments I saw this year, to tell you the truth. It was absolutely incredible, and a lot of kids are going to remember this scene.
The theater that I went to was kind of trash.
I seen it twice, and they clapped both times when his comic book cover got thrown.
I really clapped. Yeah, at the end when it got thrown on, that was cool. I popped for that.
It solidified Miles not only in this movie but in the world. He now exists. You saw him get dressed. You saw his arrival, and now he's here. So Miles suiting up is definitely deserving of that. But from a moment of, I guess, triumph to a moment of tragedy, let's talk about the death of X-Force in Deadpool 2.
Was it really tragedy? Was it really tragedy?
I thought it was tragic. Deadpool really, really was excited for X-Force.
I mean, granted, they were in the trailers all willy-nilly.
Do you remember how excited he was for X-Force, though? He was sitting on X-Force. He started dancing. X-Force. Yeah, he really thought that he had this team together.
He had the squad, man.
All of a sudden,
who knew that it was gonna be a windstorm though?
I mean, somebody knew there was gonna be a windstorm.
Actually,
when
when I think it's you find out there's gonna be a windstorm if you watch or listen very carefully.
Well, Domino at one point says something like,
"Is a windstorm when they fight Cable on the truck."
Yeah,
I think you hear it on on the radio or something like that.
No, yeah, they say it
sure.
on the news. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. They say it on the news that there's gonna be high winds or something like that. Like, be careful.
So the first time that went over my
when
head.
they were chasing after the caravan, when they're going after the caravan, you hear it in the helicopter that there's gonna be high winds. I remember.
But that was hilarious because what goes through a couple little jokes of them. I liked when he looked back and they were all kind of flipping around and shit in the winds.
X people.
Yeah, all his X people. But then the death after death. Vanisher, Brad Pitt getting killed, and then
Zeitgeist going into a tree shredder.
Shatterstar getting hit by airplane propellers. Zeitgeist throwing up acid at Peter.
Peter, that was his name.
Oh my god! And then nothing happened in Domino. She just lands safely, lucky and all that kind of stuff.
How they managed to make luck a superpower in that movie was fantastic. Where you just see her running with the explosions in the background, or she's like she can't put up the brakes on her truck is cut, and she still manages to not kill one person or kill herself.
The gun jams right in her face.
Oh yeah,
before the homeboy pulls the trigger. Yeah,
that is true. That is true. But that Death of X-Force thing, it makes this list because it encapsulates everything about those Deadpool movies, which is like you think you got it, you think you know what's gonna happen, you think you've seen enough of these.
Maximum effort.
Swerve, bro.
And they swerve it. Totally a swerve. Let's go with the next nominee, which is T'Challa Returns after his presumed death at the hands of Killmonger. T'Challa returns, full suit and all, back 100% with health. He's at 100% health.
His health bar.
He's
at
100%.
All the way up.
And right before Killmonger is able to export dangerous Wakandan vibranium-laced weapons to what he deems the oppressed around the world, T'Challa shows up, shoots one of those things out of the sky, and the battle commences between not only Killmonger and T'Challa, but T'Challa's followers and Killmonger's followers on the literal Wakandan soil.
It's like Wakandan Civil War right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Wakandans against Wakandans.
Unlike
all this violence going on. You see how Okoye and man, why did I forget his name now?
Oh, Daniel Kaluuya's
yes, Wakabi.
Yeah, there you go.
Okoye and Wakabi, they're in a relationship, but they're still against each other because they're on different sides of this fight. Seeing Killmonger straight up kill Dora Milaje because he felt like it was crazy. Seeing him and Shuri try to go at it, I thought was amazing. All the Martin Freeman stuff, how he was helping out with the virtual technology of the spaceship, and then the fight in the Wakandan mines.
Was fantastic. Like the visuals of that movie was great, and I think isn't it nominated for an Oscar?
It's nominated for 7.
Sorry, 7. I think visuals is one of the Oscar nominations.
I definitely know one of them is soundtrack, and it's because of moments like this. When he shows up here, the horns trumpet to a moment of like the king is here, the king has arrived, and I thought that was really cool. It definitely complimented that moment, and it complimented the characters of both T'Challa and Black Panther. So I thought that was really, really good. Let's talk about Aquaman joining the fight, or what I like to call release the Kraken.
Ooh.
My man Arthur Curry was told that there was a big old Kraken, big old sea monster, stopping anyone from grabbing the great trident of Atlan. But he just kind of convinces it that he's cool, and he grabs the trident anyway. But the badass moment is while this big war is going on in the ocean, you literally see Arthur Curry riding a Kraken right down the middle of this war. And all of a sudden, using the power of the trident, he's able to command sea life.
Master of the sea.
Sea life from all around. Yeah, and he's able to control all that sea life and turn it against its owners. And with that trident in his hand, he's officially called the King of the Seven Seas and given his proper title as King of Atlantis.
Half-Blood.
I know you didn't get to see it, Dan. How did you feel about that moment?
Great. Because I thought he was gonna actually slay the beast.
Oh,
then he came through just.
Nah, he's homies. B. Aquaman don't kill fish. They all the homies. Even the Trench was listening.
Yeah, I was just about to say to see him commanding everything, especially the freaking scary Trench. Yeah, that was ill. Because guys in the Trench are just not crazy, but they're what are they? Deformed Atlanteans?
They're just like devolved. Yeah, they have been living down there for so long that they don't have the need for like eyes and all kinds of stuff. Dan, that's on you. Like, if you want to, like, that's a moment you should see. That's a moment that's worth getting the old Blu-ray.
I mean, you guys,
the old baby
I've listened
Blu-ray.
to enough of the praise that you've had for. No, I wouldn't want to say praise, but you guys have given me enough where it's like maybe I should sit through it.
I mean, the movie broke $1 billion. It's the highest grossing DC
$1 billion movie, man.
Christ, $1 billion.
And one of the better movies of DC because
not my favorite, but it's good.
Wonder Woman ain't the only one
let's
anymore.
Let's not say like DC as in the whole realm of DC movies. Let's go DCEU of that universe. It's up there with Wonder Woman.
I think Wonder Woman is better.
But
personally.
no, I wouldn't say. I'm not gonna sit here and think that it's better than Wonder Woman. But I'm saying, would it be up there with Wonder Woman as in terms of enjoyment?
But you also got to remember that nothing else is up there with Wonder Woman. So this is like,
so it's not like it's not like it makes it hard to be up there with Wonder Woman.
You have what? You have Suicide Squad, Batman vs Superman, and Justice League,
and Man of Steel,
all in the same bottom barrel.
But I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the Aqua Bro, so I'm glad he gets his just due.
Well, the fact that this was a character that we all made fun of,
and that was a $1 billion movie
for a decade. I know since I was a kid, I've been making fun of Aquaman.
Yeah.
So for Aquaman to gross $1 billion in its debut movie, that's enough level of respect that I should go see it.
You should jump in the water and always be afraid of Aquaman.
Somebody who wasn't afraid in this next moment. Let's talk about the Battle of Wakanda, aka Bring Me Thanos.
That is personally that's my favorite moment of the year. That was
all of it, from Cap, Widow, and T'Challa going face to face with the children of Thanos and telling them, "We ain't having it. Y'all better leave, because you will not find nothing but dust and blood." Well, he had the dust. The dust is
the best part about it was
they rubbed that in our faces before we even knew. I feel a type of way about
that foreshadowed. Everyone's face when Thor came in. How happy they were. Cap had that smile. Yeah. Hulk was like, "Oh, you guys are really screwed now." Everybody was
just seeing Wakanda ready to lose Wakanda to save Wakanda was also really cool. Like seeing them all stern and what is it? What if we lose some of that? This will be the greatest. Whatever.
This is gonna be the death of Wakanda, M'Baku says, and then
this will be the greatest death of all. Yeah. And I'm like, let's go. And then the homeboy doing all the Wakandan chants in the background, the Ibo Man. I was like, let's
when
go.
They hit the ground, you see all the shields come out.
Yeah, and
the way you had like War Machine. The way you had War Machine and Falcon just lining up the flanks
and gunning things down.
Through, they were there.
Dude, Cap and Black Panther running side by side.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah, man. Rocket and Winter Soldier working together was fantastic.
Groot and Steve Rogers. I am Groot. I am Steve Rogers.
This is my friend Tree. This is my friend from Tree.
Captain America. I see you've copied my beard.
I see you copied my beard.
All that stuff. Oh, so great. The Battle of Wakanda. And then it seemingly ends with what is the next nominee, the last nominee.
What a segue. I got to give you that one. What a segue.
Thank you.
That was a great segue.
The last nominee for moment of our best comic book moment of 2018 is the snap heard around the world, the decimation. It's Thanos wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, snapping his fingers and making 50% of the world disappear. Man, one of the most unique theater experiences I've ever had, watching an entire...
People gasped.
Oh, they all went silent.
I was genuinely nervous.
I was crying myself. I'm not afraid to admit
I looked at my hands like if I was going to be next.
The best part of stuff like this, especially with major issues, is that you can go back. Me and Carlos Maximin sat here and we chopped it up about the first ever Infinity War trailer.
Right.
And we sat here and we used to go, you think he's going to get them all? I don't know if he's going to get them all. He might get them all. In the book, he gets them all. Yeah. And I knew in the book he got them all. And I saw what happened in the book.
I felt
I was not ready, man. I was not ready.
Even if you knew as a comic book fan that this was going to happen, you was not ready.
And I don't know why I couldn't put the 2 and 2 together with the Time Stone stuff.
Right.
Like he just rewinds time and takes the Mind Stone back. I legit thought when it blew up that we good. It's over.
Right.
What is he gonna do? He can't do nothing. It's gone. And then he's just like, nope, rewind. And I'm like, oh, he did just take that.
He just took the Time Stone.
He did just take
Vision
that.
is gray. Oh no.
And then the worst part is
Vision got the hands the whole movie, and that's so sad.
It could have just been some sad music and watching these people go. But they did 2 effective things. One, they took music completely out of it.
Yeah.
The only sound effect that you had was literally people whisking away, literally people turning to dust. And then the second sound effect, the second thing they did to accentuate that is they showed it from people who care about each individual person. So you see Cap lose Bucky. You don't just see the world lose Bucky. You see Cap lose Bucky. You see Tony lose Spider-Man. Okoye lose Black Panther.
It's funny because when that
lost by Rocket
happened, I thought she was gonna disappear.
Well, they shot it in a way.
When I seen his hand go, I was like, oh.
They shot it in a way that they wanted your eyes to follow her hand, touch his, and then disappear.
Yeah.
But it was his that disappeared. So it was like, what the heck?
Bucky just falls apart in front of Steve was just that's a horror movie.
And
that's something I
right before he does it, he looks at Steve in the face and goes, Steve, because he doesn't know what's going on, and then he falls. And as a Cap fan, I was like, Oh hell no! And not only that, it's like not again. I lost him again. Out of control. And then the did you win? What did it cost? Everything, all that. And Thor, what did you do? What did you do? That's all kept
I threw my weapon.
Remember, you told me to hit him in the chest with the thing.
Should have aimed for the head.
Should have went for the head.
Should have aimed for the head.
But let's go for the winner. Let's find out who's the winner of best comic book moment of 2018. The winner is Commercial break. Post-credit scene. Now, the winner is the Battle of Wakanda, a.k.a. Bring Me Thanos.
So, basically, another stone from my man Thanos. That's 3 nominations, 3 wins for Infinity War.
Yeah, he is killing it.
Impressive.
There. And, again, any one of these could have won. Oh, no, it actually wasn't the Battle of Wakanda. I read the wrong thing. I am Steve Harvey this entire situation.
Wow, Steve Harvey.
Someone tell those Wakandans to sit back down. Sit back down. You guys didn't win the war.
We're sorry,
Thanos. It's
Thanos.
actually the Snap from Avengers Infinity War has won.
Wow,
best comic
Thanos
movie
wins. LOL, Thanos wins.
But Thanos won again anyway. So there he goes with that.
Wow.
The Mad Titan taking no prisoners or half prisoners. I don't know how you wanna figure that out. But yeah, man, talk about best moment again. If you were at the theater when you saw that, there was nothing like it. There was nothing like no one knowing what's
People
next.
People were saying, what happened? People were literally, I heard.
And as a comic book reader,
it got cold in the theater.
As a comic book reader, I legitimately became subject matter expert. Everyone, family members, friends, colleagues I haven't spoken to in years, cousins I haven't spoken to, hitting me up going,
"Did you
what
see
happened
that?
at the end
what
of
happened?
that?
Did we lose?
Where'd they go? Are they all dead?
Did we lose? Really?
We lost. That's the problem. We lost and we can't accept it.
That's what eventually brought about the therapy session of the Avengers Infinity War review that we did here, where we gave as many answers to people as possible because everyone was coming to us for answers. But we have a feeling that it's not going to stop here. Next year is probably going to get even worse. But let's talk about this year, and let's talk about one of the biggest awards left to give out. Best movie of 2018. Best comic book movie of 2018. And let's start off with Avengers Infinity War. Iron Man, Thor, and the Hulk and the rest of the Avengers unite to battle their most powerful enemy yet, the evil Thanos. On a mission to collect all 6 Infinity Stones, Thanos plans to use the artifacts to inflict his twisted will on reality. The fate of the planet and existence itself has never been more uncertain, as everything the Avengers has fought for has led up into this moment. Avengers Infinity War.
God, what a movie.
And it took forever to make. It had so many people in it, but not all the people in it. All the people in the next one.
I personally, I do feel bad for any viewer that's watched Infinity War that did not follow the MCU for the last 10 years.
Granted, half of everybody dies.
Like, it's just like I don't feel like the weight of this movie would hit you if you did not follow these people, if you did not follow these stories, if you did not follow these movies.
But the thing is, some people would use that logic to discredit this film for being the best film of 2018 because they say that it doesn't have the weight that it should have without the rest of.
Well, listen, anybody that hasn't seen it, I think seeing the bad guy win and the good guy lose should be enough for it to hold weight. I think seeing Spider-Man die should be enough. Seeing Spider-Man die, anybody that doesn't know about the MCU should still know about Spider-Man.
But listen, you're not arguing with me. I was just playing Mephisto's advocate. That's all I was doing here.
I like that.
But nominated for Best Picture in real life, Black Panther. After the death of his father.
I'm so mad that got over Infinity War. I mean, not mad, but
I feel like Infinity.
They both should have gotten it.
Infinity War is nominated for visual effects.
A lot.
Yeah, but I think Black Panther and Infinity War both should have been up there for Best Picture because one is a social commentary, yes, but the other, as far as a film goes, they gave Infinity War. I feel gives a lot of respect to comic book movies in ways that other comic book movies can't. Not that that's to say that Black Panther shouldn't be nominated. It's just.
Yeah.
Infinity War definitely is a large-scale comic book film.
No, but that's the thing. Black Panther, a lot of people forget Black Panther was the first one to come out. Came out last February.
No, it was the first comic book movie of 2018, yeah.
Yeah.
First comic book movie of 2018.
I think it's the focus. Because the focus is purely on Black Panther, I think that the plot is easier to follow.
Right.
You can follow Infinity War's plot, but if you don't know what a Nidavellir is, if you don't understand how Groot can cut his hand off, if you don't know that Peter Quill's father died literally minutes before this movie took place.
Mm-hmm.
I think those little things add. What does the Tony Stark Spider-Man moment mean if you haven't seen Civil War
or Homecoming for that matter?
or Homecoming? You understand? So it's little things like that. And I'm not discrediting it. I'm just saying that this is what I've heard.
I can understand why they wouldn't. But I can also not.
I mean, they
do
sprinkle some of that in it, so that way you know more or less. But yeah.
But at the end of the day, yeah, Black Panther is like culturally, social commentary wise, it's a very important film. The marketing, its album won a Grammy.
Yeah.
So for it to be up for Best Picture, really congratulations to Ryan Coogler and the rest of the team.
Yeah, it definitely made a whole bunch of noise.
Like I'm glad Ryan Coogler. It's just like this. It's like his third time he's getting his movie is up for Best Picture. Yeah. Bill Station and Creed were both up for Best Picture, and
it's a pretty basic story.
And fantastic.
After the death of his father, T'Challa returns home to the African nation of Wakanda to take his rightful place as king. When a powerful enemy suddenly reappears, T'Challa's mettle as king and as Black Panther gets tested when he's drawn into a conflict that puts the fate of Wakanda and the entire world at risk. Faced with treachery and danger, the young king must rally his allies and release the full power of the Black Panther to defeat his foes and secure his safety of his people. Culturally important. Broke records across the board. Great acting. Ryan Coogler is just really good. All his movies are really good. And he has a certain flair and a certain aesthetic to his films that good actors are able to rise to.
He handles films that have a message.
Yeah.
Like he knows how to give the message in his story. He knows how to get across the hero's journey.
One would say that without a message, some of these movies shouldn't even be out, right?
No,
like without, if you ain't got nothing to say,
what's the point of making the movie? Just like, but
speaking of which, Venom.
I love Venom. I loved Venom.
Did you love Venom?
Like I have my problems with them, but I still loved it because it impressed me. Because I went into Venom knowing I was gonna hate it.
So then you need to go to Aquaman that same way. You need to go to Aquaman knowing you're gonna hate it.
No, I'm going to go into Aquaman knowing I'm gonna hate this.
Yeah.
And I hope to walk away
because
impressed.
It definitely has things that you would like from it.
When I go into hating a movie and it impresses me, I have to give it that credit of you did good. Venom did good. Does it have its faults? Sure. I didn't like that the Venom symbiote was being bullied by other symbiotes on its own home planet.
He was a loser.
Or he was a loser. That's pretty I would say lackluster. Really disappointing to see Venom being a loser.
Yeah.
But I thought Tom Hardy killed it. I thought what's her damn name? Jenny Slater was pretty good for the screen time she had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the visuals behind Venom itself and the voice was fantastic.
I like the voice.
His tongue was big and long.
I like whenever he was fully Venom.
Yeah.
Running around, swimming, any of that kind
Climbing
of stuff.
Climbing the building.
So to me, it's hard to do wrong when you have that good looking of a visuals. Like when Venom is that good looking, it's hard to do wrong when he's personally on screen.
Yeah.
Like when it's Eddie Brock or everybody else on screen, yeah, maybe.
And as long as it isn't Topher Grace, right? Like that's
right.
That's unanimous. It's not Topher Grace.
That's a small bar we have to get over. Journalist Eddie Brock is trying to take down Carlton Drake, the notorious and brilliant founder of the Life Foundation. While investigating one of Drake's experiments, Eddie's body merges with the alien Venom, leaving him with superhuman strength and power. Twisted, dark, and fueled by rage, Venom tries to control the new and dangerous abilities that Eddie finds so intoxicating. It was good. It could be better. I hope they've seen where it fell short.
Mm-hmm.
But to some people, it is their favorite movie of 2018.
Well, for a fact, like, if it did this bad, like if you think it did like not as good as it could have been, then that means if there's a second movie, it's always room for improvement for you.
But in the same sense, there's always room to go even worse. There's always time to make it kick ass too.
There's no
There's
no Spidey, so I feel like people start wanting that. But if you know the comic that is based on the workaround for the movie, I'm a real big fan of. Is what I like so much about it too. That I ended up liking it without having Spider-Man.
We kind of had a Venom love fest right before this film came out. We saw the animated Venom origin. We read Venom's
and
first
covered Lethal Protector,
book.
yeah.
And then we covered the Venom episode.
Yeah. There was a lot of Venom love going on when this movie came out. So we were in the bag for it. I just wanted more. But don't get it twisted. When I was done, I remember thinking like this was fun.
Yeah, definitely.
As long as it was a fun movie, it doesn't have to be perfect sometimes.
And like I was saying about not being perfect, Aquaman, once home to the most advanced civilizations on Earth, the city of Atlantis is now an underwater kingdom ruled by the power-hungry King Orm.
Can you imagine how much gold and sunken silver is under the water? That man must be rich as.
Well, I seen that crab in Moana, and he likes gold, so there's got to be a lot of gold.
He might be richer. He might be more richer than T'Challa.
Can't be more richer than Scrooge McDuck, who literally swims in golden coins.
Golden coins.
Scrooge McDuck is the richest man of all time. I actually have the math behind that.
Yeah, he is. He is the richest man of all time. But yeah, you got Orm, who's planning to conquer the surface dwellers with the remaining oceanic people. Standing in his way is Arthur Curry, Aquaman, Orm's half brother, half Atlantean, half human brother, and the true heir to the throne. With the help from the royal counselor Volko, which is my man Willem Dafoe, Aquaman must retrieve the legendary trident of Atlan and embrace his destiny as protector of the deep. Another nominee is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Bitten by a radioactive spider in the subway, Brooklyn teenager Miles Morales suddenly develops mysterious powers that transform him into the one and only Spider-Man. When he meets Peter Parker, he soon realizes that there are many others who share his special high-flying talents. Mm-hmm. Miles must now use his newfound skills to battle the evil Kingpin, a hulking madman who can open portals to other universes and pull different versions of Spider-Man into our world. And last but not least, Deadpool 2. The wisecracking mercenary Deadpool returns and he meets Russell, an angry teenage mutant who lives at an orphanage. When Russell becomes the target of Cable, a genetically enhanced super soldier from the future, Deadpool realizes that he'll need some help saving the boy from such a superior enemy. He soon joins forces with Bedlam, Shatterstar, Domino, and other powerful mutants to protect young Russell from Cable and his advanced weaponry. But what do you guys think deserved to win Best Movie of this year? What impressed you? What didn't impress you? What you thought you wanted more from? I did not put Ant-Man and the Wasp here because I did not like it as much as Ant-Man 1, but many people like Ant-Man and the Wasp 2 more. So
I like Ant-Man more.
I'll put that fourth. What do you got? What's up for you? And I'm also kind of shocked. I'm also kind of sad that Aquaman was the only live action movie from DC.
I have a strong feeling of what's gonna take this award, but I'm also interested to see who won second place for this.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't want to say Thanos, even though that is my pick, but the man
you want to say Thanos for best movie?
He
Well, it was a Thanos movie, so I agree.
Yeah,
with him
but I only say
one.
it that way because he's been racking up Infinity Stones on this on our award show. So Infinity War just might be that one.
Yeah, this is the fourth Infinity War nomination. So like, my pick is definitely Infinity War. It's the movie I've seen the most this year. Like, I loved Black Panther more than I thought I would. Because I made the mistake of reading reviews before I watched Black Panther. Mm-hmm. So I read about the lackluster ending to where that final fight between Killmonger and Black Panther was very CGI bound. Yeah. Some critics were saying that it reminded me of the subway scene from Spider-Man 3.
It was a little rubbery.
I heard that too. Sometimes. I heard that it was very like you can see that it wasn't choreographed, that it was all made on a computer. But then when I watched Black Panther, I found to like it more than I did. But my pick is Infinity War because. Man, that movie did things to me that I thought I would never see.
Well, it's time to find out what's going to win the best movie. One of the last big awards here, because the next one is anticipated movie of 2019, but this is the last one that gets to go home with that award, because we actually had the most anticipated movie for 2017 was Justice League, and we saw how that turned out. So
that was more anticipated than Infinity War.
Infinity War was the year after. Justice League didn't come out the same year as Infinity War.
Oh wait, no, that's right. You're doing for the previous year, so 16 would have been, and then 17 would have been anticipated for. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Guardians was in that year, Logan, stuff like that. Yeah. So let's find out what the best movie of 2018 is. Avengers: Infinity War. Yes. We'll sing two different songs, but yes,
like
a decade in the making, $250 million, or I think $1 billion, $500 million. That's what it was. $500 million.
The most expensive movie since Return of the King.
They split $1 billion on this and Endgame.
This one and Endgame, yeah.
So $500 million, double-digit superhero characters on screen. Multiple locations to the point that you're in space at one point.
Right.
You're not just in space, you're everywhere in space. You're Nidavellir. You're on Nowhere.
Titan.
You're on Titan.
Yeah.
You're on where was the Soul Stone? Volmir. You're in Volmir.
That's a mirrors.
You're in Wakanda. You're in New York. Mirrors. Like you're in 7 different locations.
Yeah.
Between the fact that space was the most location, you were in 2 different parts of the world. You went from New York to Wakanda. Like, that is impressive. Oh, sorry. Prague, too.
Oh, yeah, they
were in Prague.
And Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secret cap location.
Yeah, they got all man.
Which is one of the best character. I wouldn't want to say introductions, but just like introducing a character in that movie. Man, that was awesome for Cap. Just with the beard. Yeah, Michael Giacchino's scores. Oh, I cannot get enough of that score.
So damn good. And we waited for this. And to tell you the truth, with the amount of anticipation we had towards this film, in many ways, there was no way that this film was going to be as good as it was. Just because of all the hype that we had around it.
It had to be. It had to. There was no such thing as miss.
And they swung out of the park. I've seen this movie in theaters, I think 3 or 4 times. I saw Civil War more, but only because Civil War to me had a kind of happy ending. Cap was alive still and running around. This is kind of something to swallow. And they literally show you
not a happy ending whatsoever.
They show you the title card and then they make that go away too at the end of the film.
Yeah, they rub it in your face.
Everybody in my theater was pissed off at that. People were really mad that they put that. They're like, insult to injury.
Yeah. But it definitely a unique theater experience, and definitely, it blew my socks off. Everything that I think I know, every time I read these comics, I think I figured everything out, and there's nothing they can do to surprise me, and boom, they do something absolutely
The Russo
incredible.
brothers have right now 3 for 3 with the best Marvel movies.
Oh, yeah.
They have Winter Soldier, Civil War, and Infinity War under their
all
belts.
those movies are absolutely amazing, and they stand
they
tall
stand up.
I
feel Winter Soldier, as far as like a solo film goes, is the best MCU film. And then when you want to go groups, it's hard because, Civil War was happy, but Infinity War was sad. But, like, the Russos, congratulations to the Russos. Thank God that Infinity War won, because I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I dig that too. But let's talk about most anticipated. Let's talk a little bit into the future before we let these fine ladies and gentlemen off for the rest of the day.
I have a lot of expectations. I have a lot of standards, and I hope whoever comes out next year blows me away.
But we're here to talk about what's gonna get you the most excited. So which one of these movies has you guys most excited for next year? Captain Marvel, starring Brie Larson and Jude Law. Avengers Endgame, starring all of our OG Avengers, Josh Brolin as
still
Thanos.
not ready for that, though.
And Paul Rudd will be in this one. Shazam with Zachary Levi. I do this every time I say his name.
Levi jeans.
I think you said that last time as well. Bringing Shazam to life, Billy Batson. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker film. The Spider-Man sequel, Spider-Man Far From Home. Or everyone's favorite, X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Wow.
I like how you said everyone's favorite.
How dare you?
That is hilarious.
I also missed things.
Not my favorite.
I also forgot about things like Hellboy, which comes out next year.
Right.
Lead Battle Angel is based on a manga.
I'm excited for Alita.
Because I know people that are saying, wait, they're doing another Hellboy? I'm like, yeah, dude, they already have pictures out. Like, what?
Yeah, and the trailer's out too.
Some people are not responding good to it because they're the only Hellboy they know is the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And so this new Hellboy,
Yeah, but it was
been that good.
It's been like 10 years already, right?
A long time.
Like, the first one was okay. The first one was good enough to say it's entertaining, but that second one, the Golden Fist, Compass...
I heard that one wasn't that good. I've only seen the first Hellboy.
It was terrible. So, I'm all for this new Hellboy. But Captain Marvel, I hope... That's my pick, honestly. I think that it's going to do great. Our first MCU female solo film.
Yeah.
It took this long. It took 11 years to give us a female solo MCU film. And... the way that they threw out the breadcrumbs, Kevin Feige and his breadcrumbs, the way he threw those breadcrumbs in Winter Soldier, I think she might be a Skrull.
Yes, I also think she's a Skrull. She's a Skrull, y'all. We might make that a shirt. When we get closer to the thing,
she's a Skrull, y'all. She's a Skrull, y'all. She's a Skrull, y'all.
We're gonna need one of those Schrodinger cat.
Don't trust her. She's a Skrull, y'all.
That Schrodinger's cat was in. Like,
is she
at
all times? She's at all times a Skrull, and at all times not a Skrull.
So just open the box and see if she or isn't she a Skrull. But she's definitely a Skrull.
What about you, Maximus? What is your most anticipated movie next year?
Most excited for Endgame. Honestly, I'm ready for my Avengers.
How can you not be? Right?
I'm ready for my Avengers to do their Avenging, man.
It's so weird. Last year, these were all just. I mean, obviously, Infinity War was the culmination of the MCU, but this is like literally a part 2, or literally a to be continued, and it's literally next year. Has this ever happened before?
One of the best.
Maybe
ever.
Matrix 2.
There's a lot of things that they're milking.
The
they killed our heroes, our best friends.
Killed all our best friends and made us watch.
I'm still waiting for that Avengers You know, they have to assemble, and it has to be said.
Plus,
and they have to get together. They have to put both sides together.
That the Avengers are finally going to avenge.
Tony, and Steve actually becoming besties again.
Yes.
You know,
Were they even ever besties to begin
I kind of
the
need that. In
Hulk, maybe. The Hulk. You think we could get into the next movie? Maybe
I hope
throwing hands.
I'm not really a fan of the Hulk in Infinity War. It's just, I don't know. Mark Ruffalo was just annoying me with that whole I can't get it up performance issues thing.
That's a lot, yeah.
But then again, if you want to think of it, Thanos really beat the fear into Hulk so bad that man said, "Nah, you can do it yourself."
You think Hulk's got his Ragnarok gear stashed around some place for Endgame to take it to Thanos?
Yeah, huh? That's a good question. And they're gonna be making another gauntlet. People have already been speculating all crazy what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
forget about it.
I heard the gauntlet is seared.
I am
his
anticipating
hand.
Joker, but I'm not crazy anticipating it.
I need a full trailer.
I am ready for
that's another thing too. We don't have a trailer for that.
Any expectations whatsoever, so I don't get disappointed. Like I do not want to be disappointed, and I don't want to think I'm already gonna go in being disappointed. I'm gonna give it a chance.
Joker's the only one that doesn't have a trailer on this list.
That's true. And besides, I guess you would say, besides like Far From Home, and Endgame, it has shoes to fill. Like there's no Captain Marvel 1 to be like, well, the first one was better. If Far From Home was bad, you could just be like Homecoming was better. If Endgame's bad, you could just be like Infinity War's better. But if Joker's bad, it becomes Ledger was just better. You understand? It just becomes Dark Knight's a better Joker movie. Screw making a single Joker movie. Just watch Dark Knight.
I'm really hoping it can stand on its own. That's all I want for that.
At this point, it's about the writing for me. I can trust Joaquin Phoenix. I just hope that he's given good dialogue. I hope he's given a good director to play off of, because like Nolan and Ledger played off each other very well.
Yeah.
To the point of a lot of Ledger's improv scenes, Nolan left in there,
and
because he thought it was fantastic. He gave Ledger so much creative control behind Joker that I hope Joaquin Phoenix can really shine here.
And Joaquin's a superstar. Like I trust the guy. I trust
I trust him 100%.
His deranged nature.
Only Joaquin Phoenix can fall in love with Siri.
That's true. And make it a movie.
Yeah.
Wasn't Siri Scarlett Johansson?
Yes. Oh my
dun, dun, dun.
Scarlett, Miss Black Widow had a past life that no one knows about.
Well, speaking of past lives, let's throw the past away. Burn it if you have to.
Wow.
You like that, right? You like how I that in there?
Go.
Yeah, I try. But we're done with 2008. We're looking into the future. Let's see what the Clique has voted as the most anticipated movie of 2019.
Uh-oh.
I'll just rip this open, and the answer is Avengers Endgame. Avengers 4.
5 nominations.
Thanos has won 5 awards today. Somebody give it to him. Whatever planet he's on, smiling.
God.
Oh no, let's not give it to him. Let's just mail it.
Put his clothes back on. Get his clothes off of that scarecrow thing. Put his clothes back on and come accept this award. I'm pretty sure he'll accept it in a snap. But
oh my God,
he's just gonna open a portal that times the space stone and everything.
Endgame, man. Endgame feels to me like after Endgame, I can stop watching movies. Like
I'm about to go on that one. I like my movies. I think I can stop watching comic book movies.
But have you ever? Do you have any other decade-long episodic movie?
If they chose to call it quits, it wouldn't bother you that much.
Like, there's a lot of hatred behind the new Star Wars, Last Jedi, Solo, Force Awakens.
All right, but put those 3, and then already the bad taste people have about the 3 prequels. That's like 6 out of 9 bad movies.
I personally, I know what you're saying. Like critically wise, MCU has just been killing it every year. They're killing it with these movies, with a few bad movies, but not enough to like say MCU is bad. I understand where it's with Star Wars. It's only the original trilogies is what's good. Everything else is bad.
A few blemishes, but
people like, and I know people like Revenge of the Sith.
Like I find Star Wars to be all around the good, but Infinity War I was not ready for it. Endgame, I'm not ready for. I'm really not ready for Endgame. It's so.
I just want.
Like I said,
I'm ready for my heroes to win.
They're gonna finally be the Avengers.
I'm ready for the avenging.
They're gonna avenge humanity. They're gonna avenge existence.
I'm so ready to just. They need to win. They need to win bad.
Yeah.
They need to get on the same page because, like I said, last time I saw Cap was in Civil War and he didn't really win that. You know, he survived that, and then he survived the snap. And it's time for him to win. I'm no more surviving Cap. Call up Tony. Oh, I don't know if that phone works in space. I know you floating around in space.
Oh, Hulk got the phone. Don't you remember?
Sure doesn't.
He lost.
Hulk does have the phone.
He lost the phone on the street.
Yeah, he did drop the phone. That's how he got to Wakanda. Yeah. That actually all makes sense. Wow, you're almost good at this, Dan. It's almost like you have a podcast.
Like 20 times.
Oh my God! But yes, the dust has settled. Thanos has 5 of these awards. Miles Morales has 1, and we got one for my man Double D Daredevil. But those are the winners of these awards. Anything surprise you guys? Anything?
I'm very satisfied that my man Miles got one in there.
I'm really glad with everyone that won because I feel like everybody that won deserved to win the category they were nominated for. Like Daredevil deserved to win best season of a best TV show because of all the already pre-established TV shows we have in the Arrowverse and on the CW. Daredevil managed to be the best of all of them.
Yeah, it did. It killed it.
And you can't really fault the newcomers that didn't do better than Daredevil because they're newcomers. But as far as that, Daredevil killed its 3rd season, so I'm glad it won. I'm glad Miles won.
And a lot of work went into Infinity War, man, and it shows. And it shows that the fans appreciated it because that thing. Cleared the house. What's also pretty cool is I think every single thing that we have covered here today is covered by the Major Issues podcast. I think we have an episode on almost every single movie that's been nominated, every single show.
You covered Venom, you covered Aquaman, you covered Black Panther, Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
So did you cover
Spider-Verse?
You covered Spider-Verse. Okay, so you have everything.
Yeah, all the villains, you can hear us talk about those, all the TV shows, all that stuff, wherever podcasts are found, because the Major Issues is available wherever podcasts are found. Go to Google, type in the Major Issues podcast. We'll be the first ones to pop right up. But if you want to use any one of the given apps, Stitcher, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Apple Podcasts, every iPhone already has a podcast app pre-installed. Just type in Major Issues podcast and you'll get us.
Guys, there's no excuse. Just do it. We're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. We're on Spotify.
Uploaded to YouTube, so
YouTube, Spotify, wherever you're listening to stuff. Trust me, we're on it. Just look for us, and we have a humongous library of past episodes. We just reached our year mark not too long ago, and we're hoping to put another 10 years on that dial.
We're on our 60th week so far, right?
Yeah, this is episode 59.
Yep, then we're on our 60th week, guys. Wow, this is.
And it's all thanks to you guys.
Yeah, thank you to every fan that listens, all the climbs that we've been through. It's because you guys keep coming back to hearing our shows.
Especially this particular episode in which every one of the winners was voted by the Clique. You guys out there getting on Facebook.com/ComicBookClique, getting on Instagram @ComicBookClique, using the hashtag ComicBookClique to talk about all the newest, hottest, latest, and greatest things to come to comic books and comic book media. You guys have pushed this little wagon across the finish line. We just told you guys what you guys got your voices heard.
Yeah, so
with your votes.
Exactly. If you ever think that, I don't think they're reading our emails. I don't think you're gonna listen to us, guys. We didn't pick these winners.
Yep, these are all you.
You picked these winners.
Yes, all you.
We're just giving it back. We're reading who you, the fans, chose.
I actually had a really, really good and fun Facebook Live last week. I guess in between these 2 weeks.
Yes.
Of these podcasts, we chopped it up about the Spider-Man trailer, and I think hopefully we'll be getting into more of that soon, so people can organically get back at us and ask us questions and stuff. Because I know sometimes writing emails is a little bit scary, but I want to be accessible to our fan base because our fan base is awesome. They all love all this stuff and they're as excited for it as we are. So I'm just trying to do our best to connect. And one of the things we have to do is make sure that we have the best show about comic books and comic book media. And I've been to the future, and Major Issues is that. Follow me at Major Issues CBC, and that's where I deal with a lot of our news, gossip, and memes. Some of the silliest memes you'll see on the internet are a part of Comic Book Clique, and I take much pride in that. So yeah, follow us, like us, leave us a review on iTunes when you get a chance. It's the quickest way for us to grow as podcasters, and it's the quickest way for us to grow our audience. Because if they see that we're a 5-star, let's say, podcast, they'll go ahead and sign up to see what all the hubbub is about. And it's all happening right here on the Major Issues podcast. So thank you guys so much for your continued support. Thank you for listening, and keep on listening because we ain't stopping.
No, this train just started moving. Like we're here for the long haul, guys. So thank you once again, all you beautiful fans.
Making us worthy.
Yeah.
You are the ones that make us feel like we're worthy, even though you are worthy.
My name is George Serrano, aka the Don.
I am your Cloudus Maximus.
I am Groot.
And this has been the Comic Book Clique Best of 2018 awards. And remember, whether or not you're scared of taking that leap of faith, whether you were bitten by a radioactive spider or just taking a little bit of nightshade, whether you feel the need for vengeance or just the need for justice, and whether the snap has taken half of the people that you love, you're still around. If you're listening to this, you're the half that made it. You're with us. And guess what that means? That means that we are the Clique, and you, yes, you, are worthy.